Peace. Blessed be Yah, our righteousness, the King, the fountain of living waters, the spirit and creator of all things, the first and the last, and besides Yah of hosts, there is no Savior. He is the strong one of all the earth. And blessed be He who creates, Y.O.R, the first and the last. Today is July 12th, 2015. I hope everybody's in great health, as best as you can be in the land of our captivity today. As we wait on Yah's great deliverance, staying patient and taking heed to that law, applying it to our everyday life as best as we can wherever we are on the earth. Okay, today we're going to go over the law, touch on a few things about the dietary laws and things that we should eat and things that we are forbidden to eat. Okay, so we're going to touch on that. We're going to read out of the law as it states over in Yeshaya chapter 42 verse 21. This movement's job is to magnify Yah's law and make it honorable in the sight of all the peoples of the earth. For Yah worked through his arm to bring light to the inhabitants of the earth, that they can one day make a true decision of whether they're going to walk in the way of Yah or not. Okay, so once again, peace and blessings to all out there in the service of Yah righteousness, Gentiles, Hamites, Shemites, whoever who cleaves to the way of Yah, to love to do His law, statutes, and commandments with all their heart and soul. Okay, so it's a lot of things going on in the world today, and a lot of people are in great distress. Okay, and it's a lot of uprisings in the world today. As far as the foods that's being disseminated to the people of the earth. Okay, you see a lot of marching this past year, against Monsanto, one of the Illuminati Edomite corporations that provide all basically the food to the masses today. Definitely of the poor folks today. Okay, with all the GMO crops, there's been a lot of uprising against that. A lot of people are tired of not getting healthy food. They're tired of eating these GMOs. Okay, they can't they can't get good food. They don't have the finances, to acquire, good food, because the world today, as you see it, is an economic collapse all over the earth. Yah's worked through the sword, the Illuminati Edomite, to drive the inhabitants of the earth mad. Genesis chapter 27. If Esau carries the sword, Jeremiah chapter 25. You can read about that and how Yah's worked through the Illuminati Edomite, these international bankers, to drive the nations mad, as you see today. Alright, so we have to try to eat as best we can in captivity. Yah has a dietary law written out for us. And our job is to discern between the clean and the unclean, as we're going to read about in this book of remembrance, so-called Old Testament. We as a people have to discern between what's clean and what's unclean. Because there are certain things that's not written in this book. That's why Yah had it written in this book that we must put a difference between the clean and unclean. So we're going to start out reading the book of Leviticus chapter 11. We also going to read the book of Deuteronomy, which is also deals with the dietary law. So I'll start in Leviticus chapter 11. Okay, I'm going to take it from the top, and we're going to go through the things that Yah has permitted us to eat and things that He has not permitted us to eat. And we must discern these things, and we must cleave to this law, and try to eat as best we can to cleanse our bodies as best we can, because we can never be fully, clean, all right, until Yah brings this movement back. Okay, so we're not going to fully be clean, okay, until those waters start to flow into the land again, and we start to drink of the waters, and Yah starts to heal us. All right, and that process will begin once this Jerusalem movement returns to the land. All right, but we do the best we can. Okay, like it says over in 52 Yeshaya. All right, and specifically talking about the Lewites there, but that's applicable to all peoples of the earth. Okay, especially here in the daughter of Babylon. All right, be ye clean that bear the vessels of Yah. Okay, and that's once again that's applicable to everybody. Try to be as clean as best we can wherever we are on the earth. Okay, because it's a full-blown attack on the inhabitants of the earth. Okay, so we stick to the short foundation, the trial cornerstone, Yeshaya chapter 28, which is this law. Okay, and if you applying this law as best as you can, and you pray to Yah, all right, then Yah will provide for you, food to eat as best, as close to being as clean as possible. Because like I said, a lot of things that we eat today is unclean, as far as the toxins and stuff that they put into the food. Okay, so we want to try to eat as clean food as best we can. All right, so I'm here in Leviticus chapter 11, and I'm gonna start at the top. It says, and Yah spake unto Moses and to Aaron, saying unto them, speak unto the children of Israel, saying, these are the beasts which ye shall eat among all the beasts that are on the earth, whatsoever parts the hooves, and is cloven footed, and choose the cud among the beasts, that shall you eat. Okay, so whatever beasts that we are permitted to eat, the hooves must be split, which means it has to have a skin in between the two hooves. Okay, just look up the cows, a cow's hoof, or a deer, and we're going to go into some, got a list of animals, all right, beasts, clean beasts that we may eat, or, that Yah has pronounced as clean for for human consumption. So it has to have the hooves parted. Okay, it must be cloven footed. All right, and it must chew the cud. Okay, when it chews the cud, it's like an extra stomach where the beast stores its food and it regurgitates it back up and it starts to chew on it. Okay, it chews on that food that's stored in that extra stomach. Okay, and those animals that do that, that have the hooves split and is cloven footed, that way may we eat. Okay. Alright, so verse 4, nevertheless these shall you not eat of them that chew the cud, or of them that divides the hoof, as the camel, because he chews the cud but divides not the hoof, he is unclean unto you. Okay, so the camel does not fit all the characteristics that Yah has put forth to us, which is pronounced as clean. Okay, it doesn't fit all the characteristics. It fits some characteristics but not all, for it chews the cud but it does not part the hoof. Okay, so the camel therefore is unclean. Okay, we use the camels for for transportation, and our forefathers used the camel for transportation. Okay, but the camel is pronounced unclean. It is not permitted to be eaten. All right, so it says nevertheless, okay, I read that. Okay, verse 5, it says, in the coney, because he chews the cud but divides not the hoof, he is unclean unto you. Okay, and the hare, because he chews the cud but divides not the hoof, he is unclean unto you. And the swine, though he divides the hoof and be cloven footed, yet he chews not the cud, he is unclean unto you. The swine is also known as the pig or pork. Okay, the hog, which my people, and a lot of people of the earth love. Okay, if you was listening to that recording on June the 1st, okay, you hear, it's mentioned that, they putting bacon in almost everything. Okay, putting bacon in and on everything. Okay, anytime you pop a commercial up and, an advertisement for food, you're going to see bacon on it. Okay, and bacon, the pig is abominable. Okay. the pig is high in sodium because the pig does not sweat. Okay, there's a lot of sodium in sweat, okay, that your body releases, and the pig does not sweat. Therefore, it stores all that sodium in its body. Okay, that's why you got people with high cholesterol, high blood pressure, heart diseases. You know, we're gonna touch on that too. Okay, because when you think about this and the effects that the pork, the pig has on the body. Okay, and you get most of the people, most of them understand that pork is not good for you. Okay, but as it states, in this kingdom of mine, as it states in Jeremiah chapter 8, when you get there to verse 3, okay, what does it say there? All right, it says, death shall be chosen rather than life. Okay, you get these people that understand that pork causes a bunch of health problems. Okay, but you still get some of these people, definitely the children of Israel, and I've heard this plenty in my day, that say, I'm gonna die eating my pork. Okay, I'm gonna die eating my pork. Death shall be chosen rather than life. Okay, these people have chosen death because of these things that they desire, that they love, that taste good to them. Okay, and they don't want to let them go. Okay, they do not want to let them go. And speaking of that, let me just read that verbatim over in Jeremiah chapter 8, verse 3. Okay, could you get some of these people, majority of the people that I've come in encounter to, who don't know they Israel, all right, and they love eating pork, and they, no matter what, okay, no matter how unhealthy they know it is, they still going to choose to eat it. Okay, they know how unhealthy eating chitlins, eating bacon, pork chops, okay, pig's feet. Okay, they understand, majority of them understand how unhealthy it is, but they still choose to eat it. Okay, even though they know it brings them to their days are not prolonged. But that doesn't mean anything to them, because death is chosen rather than life. Okay, now I'm over here in Jeremiah chapter 8. Okay, all right, and I'm gonna just take it, from the top. It says, "At that time, saith Yah, they shall bring out the bones of the governors of Yehuda, and the bones of his princes, and the bones of the priests, and the bones of the prophets, and the bones of the inhabitants of Jerusalem out of their graves, and they shall spread them before the sun and the moon and all the host of heaven, whom they have loved." And this is Yah's pronouncing judgment on the inhabitants of Yehuda and Jerusalem, because they were idol worshippers. They turned away from Yah. Okay, they turned the back and not the face. Alright, they totally went astray, and Yah pronounced judgment on them. Okay, and when you go to that book, the book of Ezekiel, and when Yah took him back to the land of Jerusalem and showed him what the priests were doing in the temple, how they were worshiping the host of heaven. Okay, how they were worshiping the stars, the moon, the sun. And Yah said that he was going to take their bones out of the grave, and he was going to spread it before that which they worshipped. Okay, whom they loved and whom they served, and after whom they have walked, and whom they have sought, and whom they have worshipped. All right, and they shall not be gathered nor buried; they shall be for dung upon the face of the earth. Okay, now here's what I came here for. And death shall be chosen rather than life. Okay, death shall be chosen rather than life, and this is applicable to today. All right, death is chosen rather than life. Okay, people turn away from the Most High when they hear, a servant of the Most High, or someone telling them how unclean pork is, how unclean shrimp, crab, lobster, crabs, all these unclean things. They don't want to hear it. They hide their face from you when you start saying these things. Okay, and then you get some, all right, that get a guilty conscience. Okay, when they eat these things around you, and they know that some of them, most of them can see that they're unclean. Okay, I've witnessed this, where I get someone around me, they start eating chicken, and they, And the first thing they do when they see me, they apologize to me for eating chicken. You know, I mean, everyone has to be put to death and judged for their own sins. Okay, Deuteronomy chapter 24, verse 16, Ezekiel chapter 18. Everyone is accountable for their own sins. Okay, but that's why a lot of people don't want to be around servants of the Most High, because when they're doing these unclean things, it exposes them. Okay, because they understand for the most part that they not doing right. Okay, and their conscience starts to eat at them. Okay, all right. So like I said, death is chosen rather than life. Okay, because they choose the way which is not right. They choose the ways that lead to directly to the grave. So I just wanted to point that out. Like I said, you get a lot of people to understand most of these these unclean beasts, that they're detrimental to your health, but they still choose to eat them. Okay, because of what they desire, what's in their heart. Okay, so I'll go back over here to the dietary law in Leviticus chapter 11, and we're gonna pick up where we left off. Okay, and just a second. Okay, so the swine, the pork, the pig is unclean. Alright, it is not to be eaten, in no shape, form, or fashion. Okay? Excuse me. It is not to be eaten. Also, you have a lot of pork byproducts in the foods, such as gelatin. Okay? Watch out for gelatin. The gelatin is a pig byproduct. Okay, and you have to be aware of these. There's others out there. And you just got to be careful. Okay, of the things that you consume. Right? You got to read labels. Okay, you have to read labels. All right, you have to be circumspect. Okay, and you have to be cautious of what you eat, especially here in the daughter of Babylon. Okay, because it's a full-blown attack on the inhabitants of the earth, especially on the descendants of Israel. Okay, that's why you see all, the terrible foods in our community. The Chinese stores. Okay, that's serving. That's another thing. Look, a lot of our people understand that the chicken that they say they serving at these Chinese stores, they know it ain't chicken. Okay, some of them even tell you it ain't chicken. But at the same time, they continue to order and buy these this food from these places. Okay. Death shall be chosen rather than life. Okay. They understand that these things are detrimental to to their health, but they still continue to eat it because of what they desire and what they lust after. Okay. So like I was saying, you get a lot of these unclean these stores that serve these unclean foods, all definitely in the Hebrew Israelite and so-called Black Hispanic communities. Okay, and our people love to have it so. Okay, all right, they love eating these things, even though they understand for the most part that it's detrimental to their health. Okay, so verse 8 is where I left off. Of their flesh shall you not eat, and their carcass shall you not touch. They are unclean unto you. Okay. So the first part of this is dealing with the beasts, okay, which may be eaten and which may not be eaten. And I'm going to go into a list of these things which can be eaten. All right. Because a lot of our people, today, definitely today, they've been raised in the ways of the heathen. Okay, and they think the only thing out there to eat is pork, chicken, and beef. Okay, if it ain't pork, chicken, and beef, or shrimp, crab, lobster, scallops, oysters, if it ain't that, okay, then they don't want anything to do with it. Okay, because the way they've been raised and the things that they desire, that they lust after. Okay, so I got a list here in reference, you can go to Y.O.R Righteousness, all right, Chicago.net. Okay, you can go there and you look up the dietary law, you know, and there's a list of things that which may be eaten, which, and you know, of the beasts, and which things that, you know, may not be eaten. And we're going to go through a little list here, all right, and these are just 25 animals that are, you know, beasts that are considered clean in the way of Yah. Okay, that Yah has pronounced as clean. All right, the oxen, all right, the bull, okay, the cow, all right, the heifer, all right, the sheep, the ram, all right, the ewe, the lamb, goat, hart, buck, all right, doe, fawn, moose, the elk, the reindeer, the fallow deer, the wild goat, the rock goat, all right, the antelope, wild ox, the camuses, or the camoises, all right, the gazelle, and the buffalo, all right, and that also includes the bison too. Okay, so as you can see, there are plenty of meat, different types of meats, and they all got their own taste. Okay, there's plenty of, you know, there's plenty of you know, clean meats out there, you know, that Yah has ordained to us as clean. So, you know, or just the way that we've been raised in the ways of the heathen, that, you know, people are so closed-minded when it comes to, you know, to different, you know, to the variety of meats that which may be eaten. Okay, there are plenty of clean meats out there that we may eat. Okay, there's plenty of clean meats out there that we may eat. Okay, and as we know, as we just mentioned, okay, these are the animals which are not permitted to eat. As we, you know, we just read the, you know, the camel, the hare, the coney, all right, the pork, the swine, all right, and all manner of beasts that go upon his paws. Okay, all right, all manner of beasts that go upon his paws. Okay, we can't eat dogs, all right, as they, you know, dogs which they serve in these Chinese stores, dogs and rats and, you know, all just abominable things. You really think about it, you never really see those, you know, those Chinese people eating that food. I mean, me personally, I haven't really ever, you know, really seen these people eating, or, you know, eating what they serve. Okay, so just think about that. I hardly ever see them eat what they serve. Okay, you know, they got their own separate food that they eat, that they have back, you know, wherever they work. All right, they, you know, they don't feed the people that food. Okay, so just think about that. All right. Okay, so from there we're gonna go into the, you know, the different types of fish. Okay, the creatures of the sea, which may, you know, which Yah has pronounced as clean. All right. He says, I'm in verse 9 in Leviticus chapter 11. It says, "These shall you eat of all that are in the waters. Whatsoever has fins and scales in the waters, in the seas and in the rivers, them shall you eat. And all that have not fins and scales in the seas and in the rivers, and of all that move in the waters, and of any living thing which is in the waters, they shall be an abomination unto you." So if it doesn't have fins and scales, okay, which means no shellfish, okay, any fish that has skin, okay, such as the shark, tuna, okay, tuna has a skin, okay, they have, you know, don't get confused, okay. When most people look at this, the tuna, they, you know, they think that they have scales, but they don't. Okay, over top of whatever, you know, the scaly-like substance is a skin over that overlays it. Okay, the tuna has a skin. Okay, it is unclean. Okay, we can't eat shark. We can't, you know, we can't eat those type of things that have skin. It must have fins and scales, no matter what it eats. Okay, it must have fins and scales. Okay, because you know, I heard you know, we're gonna talk about this a little later too. You know, you get these contrarians out here, okay, that say, okay, you know, the fish, they eat worms and things like that. Okay, yeah, that's understandable, but as Yah says, if it has fins and scales, it is permitted, we may eat it. Okay, If it has fins and scales, this is the specific law. Okay, it must meet those characteristics. Okay, all right. If it has fins and scales, it is permitted to be eaten. Okay, all right. All right, verse 11. They shall be even an abomination unto you. You shall not eat of their flesh, but you shall have their carcasses an abomination. Okay, no shrimps, no crab, no lobsters, no catfish. Okay, catfish also, it has a skin. Okay, these are bottom feeders. Okay, they clean up the waste and stuff at the bottom of the sea. That's their job. Okay, that's why y'all created them. All right, to be scavengers. Okay, to eat the waste. Okay, it is not for human consumption. Okay, it is not for human consumption. All right, we must look at the characteristics. Okay, it's a bottom feeder. It doesn't discern what it eats. Just like the chicken, the turkey, the hog. Okay, if they don't discern what they eat, then it's an abomination to you. Okay, it cannot be a scavenger. All right, it cannot eat the waste. Okay. All right. It says, whatsoever has no fins nor scales, in verse 12, whatsoever has no fins nor scales in the water, that shall be an abomination unto you. Plain and simple. If it doesn't have fins and scales, it's an abomination to you. No gray areas. Okay? No in-betweens. It's an abomination if it does not have fins and scales. Okay? That's the characteristics of what Yah has pronounced as clean of those that move in the waters. Okay? And once again, I'm going to go through a little list here. All right? Because a lot of people, they don't understand, that there's plenty of fish out there to eat. Okay? That Yah is pronounced as clean. I'm just going to name a few here. Okay? And once again, you can go to righteousness, Chicago.net. All right? And you can look up the dietary law. And there's a list of, clean beasts, clean fish, unclean fish. Okay, also clean fowls and unclean fowls. Okay, we're going to go through those today. Okay, but you read and you study these things. Okay, you study this law. Okay, that you always put Yah first. All right, that you may make a difference and discern between the clean and unclean. Leviticus chapter 20. Okay, so these are a list of clean fishes that may be eaten: the bass, the bluegill sunfish, the perch, salmon, sea bass, sardines, all right, striped bass, trout, all right, silver hake, okay, which is whiting, and yellow perch. And those are just some. Okay, those are some. And here in the Daughter of Babylon, it's best to get these fish wild caught. All right. That's the thing I'm going to touch on. I'm going to touch on it now, okay? There's a lot of people, they say no tilapia. Yeah, that's right. Because most of the tilapia, most of the trouts, you got to be careful because most of these things are farm raised, okay? You don't want that, okay? You want the fish that are wild caught. So you have to, try to keep up with the season. Okay, these, different seasons for different types of fish. You want to try to keep up with it as best as you can. Okay, you don't want to be eating anything that's farm raised. Okay, that's for sure. All right. And so these are the list of unclean fish. Okay, like I said, it doesn't have fins and scales. It's unclean, no matter what. All right. Okay, simple as that. All right. The catfish, the tuna, the clam, crab, lobster, shrimp, mussels, oysters, scallops. Okay, the eel, squid, crayfish, and the shark. Okay, those are just a list of some unclean things that we're not permitted to eat. There's plenty of them, but there's just a little list there. Okay, so do your best to discern between the clean and unclean, which we are permitted to do by law. Okay, we have to discern between the clean and unclean to make a difference between the clean and unclean. Okay. right? So now we're going to go into the fowls, different types of birds which may be eaten and which may not be eaten. Okay. It says, and these are they which you shall have an abomination among the fowls. They shall not be eaten. I'm in verse 13. Leviticus chapter 11. Alright. They are an abomination. The eagle and the ostrich and the osprey and the vulture and the kite after his kind. Every raven after his kind, and the owl and the nighthawk and the cuckoo and the hawk after his kind, and the little owl and the cormorant and the great owl, and the swan, and the pelican, and the gier eagle, and the stork, the heron after her kind, and the lapwing, and the bat. All fowls that creep going upon all four shall be an abomination unto you. Okay? Alright? And yeah, the chicken is not mentioned here. Okay? But it's unclean. The turkey is not mentioned here, but it's unclean. Okay, the chicken does not discern what it eats. The chicken will eat anything. Therefore, it is unclean. The chicken does not discern what it eats. The turkey does not discern what it eats. Turkeys eat dead things. Eat dead worms. Eat dead snakes. Okay, the chicken will eat its own feces. It is unclean. It is not for human consumption, even though it's not mentioned in this book. Okay, it's not mentioned in this book, but this is what Yah says we must do. I'm going to swing over here, hold that spot. I'm going to go over here to Leviticus. Alright, it's also in this chapter. At the bottom of this chapter, we'll get to it in a moment, but it's also in Leviticus chapter 20. Okay, let me read that real quick. Okay, Leviticus chapter 20. Alright. Let's see, let me find it just a second. Alright, and I get here to verse 25. It says, ye shall therefore put difference between clean beasts and unclean, and between unclean fowls and clean. Okay? And you shall not make your souls abominable by beasts, or by fowl, or by any manner of living thing that creeps on the ground, which I have separated from you as unclean. Why? In verse 26, and ye shall be holy unto me, for I, Yah, am holy, and have severed you from other people, that ye shall be mine. Okay? Alright? So we must put a difference between the clean and unclean. Okay? Now the precept of that is over in Ezekiel. Now hold that spot over there in Leviticus chapter 11. We're going to get back to that. But I'm going to take you over here to the book of Ezekiel. Okay. Ezekiel chapter, I believe it's 43. 44, excuse me. Okay. Now, this is talking about the Levites. Okay. What the Levites must do, but this is applicable to everyone on this earth. Okay, because we must make a difference between the clean and unclean. Okay, we must discern its character. Okay, its natural characteristics. Okay, what it does, what it eats. Okay. All right, and I'll take you here in Leviticus. I'm in Ezekiel chapter 44, verse 23. Okay, and they shall teach my people. And it's talking about the Levites, but like I said, this is applicable to everyone, because we must teach our children. And Yah works through the children of Israel, okay, in his arm, okay, and that's what we're doing here today. We're magnifying Yah's law, making it honorable, putting the difference between the clean and unclean. All right, and they shall teach my people the difference between the holy and profane, and cause them to discern. Okay, discern is natural characteristics. Okay, to discern between the unclean and the clean. Okay, Ezekiel chapter 44, verse 23. We must discern between the clean and unclean. Okay, and we look at the characteristics of a chicken and a turkey. It's unclean. Okay, I just seen somebody posted a picture They had bought this chicken from Walmart. Okay, and when they cut the chicken open, they had baked it. They fully cooked the chicken, and when they cut the chicken open, to get ready to eat their abominable fowl, they found a mouse inside the chicken. Okay, because the chicken does not discern what it eats. It eats mice. Wherever it can get in his mouth, that is what it's going to eat. Okay, for all you out there, you don't have to take my word for it. Just go on YouTube, okay, and type in "chicken eats 5 mice." All right, and see what your eyes see. Okay, you're going to see a chicken that's going to eat 5 mice. Okay, the chicken does not discern what it eats. It is unclean. It is abomination. Okay, but like I said again, death is chosen rather than life. Okay, with our people, for the majority of the people of this, on this earth, because no matter what they see, no matter you can't tell them anything, because they're gonna eat whatever they want to eat. They're gonna eat what they desire, what they lust after. Okay, even if it kills them, they're still going to continue to eat these unclean things. Okay, they have chosen death rather than life. They have chosen not to prolong their days on this earth. Okay, and most of my people, because they caught up in this Christianity mess, where they tell them that nonsense over there that they gonna live forever, which is totally ludicrous. All right, they choosing death rather than life. Okay, like Yah says, He is open, talking about hell, the grave. Hell has opened her mouth wide. Okay, Isaiah Yeshaya chapter 5 has opened her mouth wide. Okay, a lot of my people have, not just the children of Israel, but the peoples of the earth have descended right into it. All right, because they eat unclean things. They choose things which are not right, before the Creator. All right, they choose not that with they don't really care what they eat. Okay. Now I left off in verse 21 over here in Leviticus chapter 11, and it says, "Yet these may you eat of every flying, creeping thing that goes upon all four, okay, which have legs above their feet, to leap." The key word is to leap upon the earth. Okay, this is talking about the creeping things, all right, that we are allowed to eat. Okay, it must have used its hind legs to leap upon the earth as a grasshopper, as a locust. If it does not fit those characteristics, it is unclean. Okay, so yeah, I'm talking about the honeybee. The honeybee does not fit the characteristics of that which may be eaten, therefore it is unclean. No ifs, ands, buts about it. It is unclean. Okay, the bees swarm. Okay, they fly, but they do not leap upon the earth. It does not use its hind legs to hop, and that it must do in order for it to be clean. Okay, and like I was saying before, we were raised in the ways of the heathen. Okay, Jeremiah chapter 10, it says, "Learn not the ways of the heathen," but we have learned the ways of the heathen, and most of us, majority of us, all of us have been raised in the ways of the heathen. Okay, all right, and I say that to say this. All right, when you get people who've been raised a certain way, that've been taught to eat certain things which are not clean, okay, what they see is clean, but it's not. Okay, so when you tell them that you can eat the locust, you can eat the grasshopper, the first thing they do is, their conscience won't allow them to eat that. Why? Because they have been raised a certain way. Okay, and I mean, a lot of us that come to the knowledge that know we Israel, okay, we still have been raised a certain way. Okay, so yeah, these things might not seem like things that that you should be eating, but the simple fact is, this is the law of Yah. If Yah pronounces clean, it is clean. You can eat it. Okay, and just because the way we've been raised, okay, our conscience won't allow us to eat that. Okay, but the more and more we come into the way of Yah, the more Yah strengthens us. Okay, then the more and more we become accustomed, all right, to his ways, okay, to his way. All right, so yes, because you get some contrarians to say that y'all wouldn't allow us to eat locusts and and grasshoppers and things like that. Well, yeah, because that's just because how you've been raised. Okay, that's just because that's how you've been raised. All right, but y'all pronounce these things as clean. They're clean, and the honeybee ain't one of them. Okay, we're gonna get more into that in a little bit. Okay, we're gonna go through this book. All right, and we're going use the word of Yah, okay, which is this book and this law in different places in the book where it's dealing with honey. Okay, and honey has more than one definition. Okay, more than one definition, and there's different types of honey or syrupy sweeteners. Okay, that are called honey. All right, such as the maple. Okay, the syrupy substance, a sweetener. Okay, so we're going to get into that in a little bit. Okay, but verse 22, it says, even these of them ye may eat, the locust after his kind, and the bald locust after his kind, and the beetle. Okay, now this is a form of grasshopper. This is a species of a grasshopper. This is not the beetle. Okay, as because you have a species which is called the dung beetle. So there's no way we can eat the beetle as we see it today after its kind, when you have a species called the dung beetle. And that's exactly what it does. Rolls around in dung. Okay, and that is not permitted we are not permitted to eat that. This is a species of a grasshopper or of a locust. Okay. Alright. And I stress that because, like I said, you got contrarians out here that try to twist up your words and try to, just to, trying to find a weakness, okay, in y'all's movement because of, what's in their heart. And he will say, yeah, well, they say you can eat the beetle, or, no, that's not what we saying, okay? This beetle right here is a form of locust. It's not the beetle as we know it today, okay? It says, in the grasshopper after his kind. Alright. But all other flying, creeping things which have 4 feet shall be an abomination unto you. And for these shall be unclean whosoever touches the carcass of them shall be unclean until the even. Okay? Shall be unclean until the even. To the even. Okay? The next day, 24-hour period, begins at dark. So I had to throw that in there, because this substantiates that the 24-hour period does begin with dark, followed by light. Okay, whenever you're unclean, okay, no matter what form of uncleanness it may be, when you are pronounced unclean, all right, you must bathe and wash, and you are not pronounced clean until the next day or at even when it's dark. That's when you are pronounced as clean. The next day. Next 24-hour period. Okay. It says, whosoever bears aught of the carcass of them, in verse 25, okay, shall wash his clothes and be unclean until the even, the next day. Alright. The carcasses of every beast which divides the hoof and is not cloven footed, nor chews the cud, are unclean unto you. Everyone that touches them shall be unclean. And whatsoever goes upon his paws among all manner of beasts that go on all 4, those are unclean unto you. Whoso touches their carcass shall be unclean until the even. Alright? Need I say more about this even thing? Okay? You're unclean until the even, until the next day. It doesn't make any sense for you to be unclean and then be pronounced clean in that same day. It don't make no sense. Okay, you're unclean, all right, until the next day. Simple as that. All right. Okay, and he that bears the carcass of them shall wash his clothes and be unclean until the even. They are unclean unto you. Alright, these also, in verse 29, these also shall be unclean unto you among creeping things that creep upon the earth. The weasel, and the mouse, and the tortoise after his kind, and the ferret, and the chameleon, and the lizard, and the snail, and the mole. These are unclean unto you among all that creep. Whosoever does touch them when they be dead shall be unclean unto the even. Okay, and then you go on to read, if it touches a vessel, okay, if it's a vessel made out of earth, okay, which is clay, then you must break it. You cannot reuse it. Okay, you cannot reuse it. All right. Okay, you cannot reuse it. But if it's made out of iron, metal, okay, or wood, okay, you can clean it and scrub it, okay, thoroughly, and then you can reuse it again. Okay, but if it's made out of an earthen vessel, out of clay, you must break it. You must not reuse that vessel. Okay. Okay, same way, if you clean out a pot and you need a pot that has water in it. Okay. If one of these dead things fall into that water in a pot or a vessel, you can't drink of that water. You can't use that water for for anything. You must pour it out. Okay. All right. So you can read that, and I'm gonna jump down here to verse. I'm gonna jump down here to verse 39, and it says, "If any beast of which ye may eat die, that he that touches the carcass thereof shall be unclean until the even." All right, and he that touches, of the carcass of it shall wash his clothes and be unclean until the even. He also that bears the carcass of it shall wash his clothes and be unclean until the even. And every creeping thing that creep upon the earth shall be an abomination; it shall not be eaten. Whatsoever goes upon the belly, okay, like snakes, snails, slugs, okay, those you can't eat those, okay. And whatsoever goes upon all four, or whatsoever have more feet among all creeping things that creep upon the earth, them ye shall not eat; they are an abomination. Okay, like like the centipede, or most of you can witness these bugs. Around here they call them thousand-leggers. Okay, they all have a whole bunch of legs. That whatever has more feet, you can't eat them. Okay, they're unclean. He says, "You shall not make yourselves abominable with any creeping thing that creeps, neither shall you make yourselves unclean with them, that ye shall be defiled thereby. For I am Yah, your Holy One," or your strength, your strong one. Okay, "you shall therefore sanctify yourselves, and ye shall be holy, for I am holy. Neither shall you defile yourselves with any manner of creeping thing that creep upon the earth. For I am Yah that bring you up out of the land of Egypt to be your strength. Ye shall therefore be holy, for I am holy. This is the law of the beast, and of the fowl, and of every living creature that moves in the waters, and of every creature that creeps upon the earth, to make a difference, between the clean and the unclean, between the unclean and the clean, and between the beast that may be eaten and the beast that may not be eaten." Okay, so that, is the law of Yah. Okay, and beasts that we are allowed to eat and beasts that we are not allowed to eat. Okay, it mentioned a whole bunch of fowls there, but these are some fowls that we are permitted to eat. Okay, which the book mentions most of them, except for I see the pheasant. Okay, but these are the birds we are permitted to eat. We can eat quail. All right, we can eat the pheasant. Okay. I'm still gotta look more into this, but the book says, for some, for offerings of fowls, we offer young pigeons. Okay, now it's just not clear to what these pigeons are. Okay, but the book states that we can eat young pigeons. Okay, because it is clean. Yah does not accept any offering of any beast that is unclean. Okay, that's all. That's throughout all. That's all throughout the law. Okay, also the turtle dove. Okay, these are just some fowls that we are allowed to eat. That's written in this book. Besides the pheasant, the pheasant's not mentioned in this book. All right. And of course, the creeping things, the grasshopper, the locust, after this kind. Okay, that may we eat. Okay, so this is the law of Yah. This is what Yah has. This is the roadmap that Yah has written for us to eat, that we may discern between clean and unclean. Okay, we may put a difference between those animals that can be eaten and the animals that cannot be eaten. Simple as that. Okay. All right. We go to this law to discern what is right and what is wrong. This law is the life. This law prolongs your days on this earth. This is the way that we must live. We must live by Yah's law, not turning to the left or to the right. Okay. We must meditate in this law at all times. Okay. Now, most of you heard. Okay, this one contrarian, that's been mentioned a few times, and you haven't said it. I ain't gonna say his name either. If his name hasn't been mentioned, it don't need to be mentioned. But okay, I sit back, and it trips me out that because since I've known I've been an Israelite, I've never heard another Hebrew Israelite ever mention or ever come out of his mouth and say, okay. Like I said, this is just, I laugh sometimes. This just trips me out. I still can't believe that I've heard, all right, someone who knows they're an Israelite ever come out of their mouth and say that we can eat blood and fat. Okay? That we can eat blood and fat. Okay? Which is totally incorrect. Which is, like I said, I'm still trying to get my mind wrapped around it. Okay? How you can say, knowing you a Hebrew Israelite, and come out and say that we can eat blood and fat. Okay? So, I'm going to touch on that real quick. Okay? And I'm going to take you to Genesis chapter 9 real quick. The beginning of the book. Okay, we're going to see what Yah says about eating blood and fat. Okay. Whom this person claims he serves. Alright. And I ain't going to get into it, I'm not going to get into all that. I'm just going to go by the book and I'm going to keep it moving. Alright. Go to Genesis chapter 9. Alright. And I'm going to start, okay, at verse 3. Okay. And it says, in Genesis chapter 9, verse 3. Okay, it says, every moving thing that lives shall be meat for you. Okay, now we know this is not correct. Every clean, alright, thing that moves on the face of the earth shall be clean. Alright, shall be meat for you, excuse me. Alright, so every clean thing, alright, that moves, alright, every clean moving thing that lives shall be meat for you. Okay, it has to be clean. We can't just eat anything. Alright. Alright. It has to be clean. Alright. It says, even as the green herb have I given you all things. Alright. But the flesh with the life thereof, which is the blood thereof, shall you not eat. Okay. We cannot eat the blood of any animal. I don't care if you saying, you can't justify it saying, well, we can't eat it raw, but we can eat some blood. No, you can't eat no blood whatsoever. The blood is the life of every beast of that's on this earth. Okay, the blood is the life. We are not permitted to eat the blood of any beast which may be eaten. Okay. The blood is the life, and we shall not eat it. Okay? And this is what Yah says if you do eat the blood. Verse 5, Genesis chapter 9. And surely your blood of your lives will I require. At the hand of every beast will I require it. Alright. And at the hand of man, and at the hand of every man's brother will I require the life of man. Okay, so y'all is saying here, if you eat the blood of a beast, okay, y'all is going to require your life for that. You will be cut off from the Creator. Your days will not be prolonged if you eat the blood. Okay, then, you know, this dude, he posts up a picture. Like I said, I ain't going to go into all this, but, you know, he has a picture of a steak that's medium rare, okay, with blood oozing out of it, and saying that's okay to eat that. That is totally off the path. Okay, you cannot eat blood in any shape, you know, in any fashion. You cannot eat the blood whatsoever. The blood is the life. And we are not permitted to eat the blood of any beast. Okay? Alright? So let me take you also, because it was also said that only the Levites, alright, that give the offerings can't eat the blood. We have to pour the blood out. Okay? Well, should I say those who know they're Levites, they have to pour the blood out, okay, at the bottom of the altar, and sprinkle that blood around about the altar. Okay, and if it's a sin offering, you put the blood on the four horns of the altar. Okay, and he's saying that, okay, you know, only the Levites, only the priests is not permitted to eat the blood, but they must offer the blood to Yah. That's not true. It's true in a sense that, yeah, you ain't supposed to eat the blood, but no one can eat blood. No matter if you're a Levite or whoever you are not permitted to eat the blood whatsoever. Okay, so to substantiate that, I'm going to take you over into Leviticus chapter 17. Okay, Leviticus chapter 17. Okay, because I mean, this is just, you know, just to hear this, okay, it lets me know that this person don't understand this book whatsoever. And whoever think like this, we know they don't understand this book whatsoever. Not even in the least. Okay. Now, I'm in Leviticus chapter 17, and I'm going to start here at verse 10. Okay. And it says, whatsoever man there be of the house of Israel or of the stranger that sojourns among you that eat any manner of blood, okay, I will even set my face against that soul that eats blood, and will cut him off from among his people, which means you will be cut off from the tree of life. Okay, your days will not be prolonged. Y'all will cut you off if you eat any manner of blood. Okay, now it says here, Israelites or strangers, not just Levites, the priests, but Israelites or strangers. No one on this earth is permitted to eat the blood. The blood is the life of that animal. You ain't permitted to eat that. Okay, whatsoever. All right, for the life of the flesh is in the blood, and I have given it to you upon the altar to make an atonement for your soul. That's what the blood is for. When you make an offering, is to make an atonement for your soul. Okay, or whoever offering, you know, the beast, it makes in the blood when you kill it. All right, you sprinkle that blood around about the altar. That's making an atonement for the person who offered it. The priest makes atonement for that person because that person has shed blood. Okay, and by sprinkling that blood which that person has shed of that beast, okay, when you sprinkle it around about the altar, that makes an atonement for you. Okay, so that's what the blood is for when it comes to offering. You ain't supposed to eat the blood no matter what. Okay, we're going to get into that too in this same chapter. All right, for it is the blood that makes an atonement for your soul, for the soul, excuse me. Therefore I said unto the children of Israel, no soul of you shall eat blood, neither shall any stranger that sojourns among you eat blood, or the stranger. Okay, which means anyone on this earth is not permitted to eat blood, no matter what nationality you are. All right. Okay, verse 13. And whatsoever man there be of the children of Israel or of the stranger that sojourns among you, which hunts and catches any beast or fowl that may be eaten, he shall even pour out the blood thereof and cover it with dust. Okay, so this ain't just for the Levites and for the priests. This is for anyone who hunts an animal, okay, to eat. All right, you must pour the blood out, all right, upon the dust of the earth and cover it with dust. Okay, you cannot eat the blood. You must thoroughly cook it. Cook all the blood out. Okay, like when you read in the Passover, you cook it. That lamb roasts for hours. All right, to cook all the blood out. You have to eat it well done. All meats must be eaten well done. You cannot eat the meat medium rare. Okay, and this person tried to justify it scientifically, saying that all the nutrients and stuff is in the blood. No, you are not permitted to eat the blood whatsoever. All right, whatsoever. And whoever eats the blood, okay, will be cut off from the tree of life. Simple as that. Okay, we must pour the blood out. Okay, we must not eat the blood. All right, for it is the life of all flesh. The blood of it is for the life thereof. It is for the life thereof. Therefore I said unto the children of Israel, you shall eat the blood of no manner of flesh. For the life of all flesh is the blood. Therefore whosoever eats it shall be cut off. And every soul that eats that which dies of itself, or that which was torn with beast, whether it be one of your own country or a stranger, he shall both wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until the even. All right, then shall he be clean. But if he wash them not, nor bathe his flesh, then he shall bear his iniquity. Okay, so you cannot eat any manner of blood whatsoever. Simple as that. Okay. All right. And a testimony. Let's just go over to 1 Samuel. This is just a testimony in the book. Okay. Our forefathers knew you couldn't eat blood. All right. We go to 1 Samuel chapter 14. Okay. 1 Samuel chapter 14. And when you get over here into verse, okay, I'm going to start at verse 31. Okay, this is the time where, you know, Saul was governor over the people. Okay. And, you know, this is the time, you know, before Saul came on the throne, that the children of Israel asked for a king to rule over them, like, you know, so they can be like the other nations. And y'all gave us a king, all right, or a governor, all right, so we can be like the other nations. And it was very detrimental to the children of Israel, all right, because once y'all gave us what we was asking for, and the way we said it, he gave us exactly what we asked for, all right. They said they wanted a man to go out and fight their battles for them, all right, and they didn't want y'all to do it. And y'all showed the children of Israel how weak you can be when a man is leading to fight your battles, and y'all is not at the behest of that army. As we see what happened in, you know, the situation with Saul. Okay, the children of Israel were becoming weaker and weaker because they, you know, it was a man that was going out before them, which they asked for. Okay, and y'all showed them that if y'all is not at the head of that army, that the army will become weak, and they did. Okay, and you know, Saul at this time, you know, he told the people to proclaim a fast or whatever, and you know, they weren't eating anything, and they became very faint. And after they had smote the Philistines, they ran upon the spoil because they were so faint, and they started to eat, all right, the animals with the life in it, the blood. They started to eat it. They started to eat it with the blood. Okay, so I'm gonna take you. I'm in 1 Samuel chapter 14. I'm gonna start at verse 31. It says, and they smote the Philistines that day, all right, from Michmash into Aijalon. It says, and the people were very faint, and the people flew upon the spoil and took sheep and oxen and calves and slew them on the ground, and the people did eat them with the blood, which is totally forbidden in the law. Okay, they ate it with the blood, which we are not permitted to do. Okay? They ate it with the blood. Alright? Verse 33, and they told Saul, saying, behold, the people sin against Yah. You see that? They sin against Yah. It's a sin against the Most High when you eat the life of that animal, which is the blood. It is a sin against Yah. And our forefathers understood that. Okay, there's no gray areas. It's either right or wrong. Okay, you are not permitted to eat blood. Alright, no manner of blood whatsoever. You must thoroughly cook whatever meat, whatever clean meat that you're eating. Okay? Alright? It says, in that they eat with the blood. And he, Saul, said, ye have transgressed, and rolled a great stone unto me this day. Okay? So, Saul said that the people transgressed and they sinned against Yah because they ate the blood. Okay? You cannot eat the blood of any animal. Alright? You cannot eat the blood of any animal. Alright? The blood is the life. I don't think I need to say any more about that. Okay? Just totally off the path. Okay? Totally off the path when you say that people are permitted to eat the blood of the animal and the fat. We are not permitted to eat the fat also. We must eat no manner of fat. It was written all through the law. Okay? We must eat no manner of fat. Okay? We must separate the fat from the meat. Okay? We must eat the meat and we must cast away the fat. We must not eat the fat. You cannot digest the fat. Okay? You cannot digest it. Okay, it just stores, you know, in your body. Okay. We are not permitted to eat the blood, nor are we permitted to eat the fat of any beast. Okay, the fat of the beast. Okay, we must separate that fat before we eat, you know, and then eat the meat thereof. Okay. So, you know, I mean, like I say, people just come up with so many different things and, you know, just come up with a whole bunch of nonsense. Okay? And then, you know, those who have understanding, you understand that this is Yah just blocking them for whatever in their heart. You read me in chapter 17, Yah tries the heart to give every man according to his desire, his ways. Alright? The heart is desperately wicked, who can know it? Okay? But we see when people start to talk like this and talk about how you can eat blood and fat, there's something in their heart that's cutting them off from the Creator. They have cut themselves off from the tree of life. Okay, if they out there eating blood and fat and stuff like that, you know they totally off the path. Okay, totally off the path. So also a lot of people may be confused about why we are not permitted to drink cow's milk or eat cow's cheese. Okay, if you really do your research about cow's milk, okay, cow's milk has an overwhelming amount of hormones in it, growth hormones. Why? Because the cow's milk are for the calves. All right, it's for cows to drink, not for humans. All right, cows grow up to be a couple thousand pounds. All right, it's an overwhelming amount of growth hormones in cow's milk that are very detrimental to humans. That's why you get a lot of people who are obese, okay, who drink a lot of cow's milk. Also, in children, when they drink cow's milk, it builds a lot of mucus in the system. Okay. So you discern the characteristics of what you're drinking, okay, and what it has in it. All right, cow's milk is detrimental, okay, and you also look on how it affects the body. If it's detrimental to the body, then you ain't supposed to be drinking it. You ain't supposed to be eating it, okay. And cow's cheese, all right, is just concentrated cow's milk. That's all it is. It's spoiled, concentrated cow's milk. Okay, now what's the difference between the butter and cow's cheese and cow's milk? Well, when you churn the cow's milk, you're separating all the fat molecules from that, and separating the butter from the fat molecules. You're separating the two. Okay, so that's why Yah has pronounced that we may eat the butter of Khan. Okay, we may eat the butter of Khan because the fat molecules are separated from the butter. Okay, when you churn it. But that's not what cheese is. Cheese is just concentrated cow's milk. Just frozen cow's milk. That's all it is. It's very detrimental to you. That's why you get a lot of people who are lactose intolerant, and when you eat cheese and drink milk, it backs your system up. Okay, because it has a whole lot of growth hormones. It has a whole lot of pus in it. Okay, it's just it's very detrimental to your health when you drink and eat cow's. When you drink cow's milk and eat cow's cheese. Okay, it is not for human consumption. Cow's milk is for the calves. It's for the cows. All right. It's for it's for them so they can grow to be big. Be thousands of pounds. Okay. So also like I said, they add so much things to these cows, these growth hormones on top of the hormones that it already that it naturally has, which makes it even more worse. Okay, what makes it even worse, okay? You're not supposed to be drinking cow's milk or eating cow's cheese whatsoever. Okay, now you can drink the milk of sheep. Okay, you can drink goat's milk. Alright, you can drink sheep's milk. Okay, you can also make your own milks that don't come from a bee, necessarily come from an animal. Okay, there's ways that you can make natural almond milk. Okay, you gotta watch out for most of the stuff that that you buy, almond milk you buy from the stores. Okay, it's best to get the unsweetened almond milk. All right, the non-GMO almond milk. Okay, because they add a lot of sugar to that almond milk, and that's not very good for you. So it's best to get the unsweetened. All right, that don't contain a lot of sugar. All right, so y'all willing, someday we'll be able to make our own milks and eat drink the best milks. Whatever it be, it won't be cow's milk. Okay, cow's milk is very detrimental to your health. It affects the body in a negative way. And it is not, we are not permitted to drink cow's milk or cow's cheese or eat cow's cheese. Okay, so with that, I'm gonna take you over into this honeybee situation. All right, because I get a lot of going back and forth about this honeybee thing, and some people just do not want to let the honey go. Okay, but the honey is unclean. It comes from a bee. All right, the enzyme it stores. It takes the enzymes from the tongue. All right, and that's how it used those enzymes to create the honey, which are for the bee's offspring, not for humans. Okay, the honey that the bee produces is not for human consumption. It's for the bee's offspring. It stores that honey to give the bee's offspring something to eat. It ain't for humans. That's not why they create honey. Yah did not have the bees create honey for humans to eat. He had the bees create the honey, or produce the honey, shall I say, for their offspring. Okay? And like we just read over here in the law, alright, if any creeping thing that flies or that swarms, okay, if it that creeping thing must have hind legs to leap upon the earth. If it does not have hind legs to leap upon the earth, it is unclean. Simple as that. No ifs, ands, buts about it. Okay? So, like I said, all this is on YOURRighteousnessChicago.net. You go and look up the dietary law. Okay? And just to clear this up, okay? And just go through some notes about this honeybee thing. Okay, and first of all, when you look up the definition of honey, okay, when you look up the definition of honey, it has multiple definitions. It does not have just one. One of them, yeah, is honey that comes from a bee. Okay, that the bee produces for its offspring. That's one definition. Okay, but another definition for the word honey, okay, honey is a syrup made from fruits, from dates, from pomegranates, from different variety of fruits. Okay, different variety of fruits. Okay, honey comes from trees, which is the sap, the syrupy substance that comes from the trees. We're going to read about this, okay, in the book of Samuel, with a situation with Johanna to confirm this, okay? All right? So, honey has more than one definition, okay? Honey can also mean a syrupy substance that comes naturally from fruits or from trees. Okay, it doesn't necessarily have to come from the bee called honey. It can come from fruits, dates, pomegranates. All right, of a just if you ever a pineapple. Okay, and you squeeze the pineapple, that juice that comes out, that is a syrupy substance. Okay, that is classified as honey. Okay, honey has more than one definition. Okay, you just have to read it. Okay, all right. Also, a person brought this to my attention, and this is just shows you how y'all works. Okay, when things are brought to your attention, and then when you going over these things and you looking into it, okay, y'all allows you to see, He allows you to see things that you ain't see before. Okay, he illuminates you to certain things. Okay, and I was talking with this person about the honeybee, and he brought up the word honeycomb. How the word honeycomb is mentioned in this book. Okay, and the word honeycomb is mentioned in this book, but it's not talking about a honeycomb as as we see it today. Talking about the honeycomb that a bee makes. Honeycombs, when you look it up in the Strongs, okay, the definition of honeycomb, is forest, woods, or thickets. Okay, what did Yah say He was going to give the children of Israel when we came out of Egypt? He was going to bring us into a land that flows with milk and honey, milk and sweetness, milk and syrupy substance, rich, thick, syrupy substance that's pleasant to the body. Okay, that's what Yah was going to give us. Okay, so the honey or the syrupy sweeteners that Yah was talking about providing us with when we came into the land, all right, the honey comes from the land. All right, it comes from the land itself. The land produces the honey which may be eaten. Okay, it is the land that Yah has provided for us, and we can't fully understand this because we never been to the land. And I was telling this person that, okay, we haven't witnessed this yet. We have not witnessed the land that flows with milk and honey yet. Okay, and I do stress that word yet because it's coming very soon, Yah willing. Okay, all praises to the Most High, the Holy One of Israel. Okay, that He will bring us out with a strong and mighty hand and return us to a land that flows with milk and honey, milk and sweetness, that we may witness this and know that there's a whole lot better things out there than the honey that comes from the bee. Honey, sweetness that we couldn't even imagine. Right? Just the taste that we can't even comprehend because we have never witnessed it. We have not been to the land yet. Okay. But Yah has provided, everything Yah says is 100-fold. Okay, it's 100 times bigger than what it's, when Yah says it, when Yah brings it to pass. Okay, Yah's ways are higher than the ways of man. Yeshaya chapter 55. His ways are higher than our ways. Okay, And when Yah says he's going to bring us to a land that flows with milk and sweetness, that's exactly what he's going to do. Okay? But we haven't witnessed this yet. Okay? So we can't fully comprehend it. But the land produces the honey or the sweeteners which may be eaten. Okay? A rich, all right, type of honey or sweeteners, syrupy sweeteners that may be eaten. That we can't even, like I said, we can't even imagine that. Because we never experienced anything like that before. Okay? But it's the land that produces the honey which may be eaten. It doesn't come from the bees. Alright? So when you look up, I wrote this down. Also, you can go on the website, Y.O.R.righteousnesschicago.net, and go on, look up the dietary law. All this is written out on the, when you go into dietary law, look at the laws, okay? For what Yah put forth, for our diet. Alright? Alright, when you go to the Strongs, okay, Strong's Concordance, alright, number, alright, H3293. That's the Strong's Concordance. Okay, and when you look up the word honeycomb, it says forest, wood, thicket, or wooded height. Okay, basically the woods, that as we know as the woods, or the thickets, the bushes, and things like that. That is classified as a honeycomb. Okay, because in those woods, all right, are trees that produce syrupy substances. In those bushes, okay, they produce plants, okay, and fruits that provide us with syrupy sweeteners, honey. Okay, so Yah has provided the children of Israel with a land that we can always eat from. There's no way you can go hungry in that land, because that land is constantly producing food for us. There's no way you can go hungry in that land. That land is constantly producing food at all times. Okay? A land that flows with milk and honey, milk and sweetness, blessings that we can't even comprehend, because we've been raised in the daughter of Babylon, which have no blessings. Okay? Which have no blessings. Everything in this country is detrimental to your health. Everything. Okay? Everything. Alright? And I take you to just to substantiate what I'm talking about here. We're gonna go to Samuel. Okay, and I believe it's Samuel chapter 14. I think we were in chapter 14. Hold on just a second. Oh yeah, chapter 14. All right, starting there at verse 24. And when we read this, we're going to substantiate, okay, what the word honeycomb means. Okay, and how when you read honeycomb in this book, it's not talking about the honeycomb that the bee makes, or what we think is a honeycomb today. Okay, so I'm here in 1 Samuel, once again, in 1 Samuel chapter 14. Okay, just take it. We were talking about the blood and how the people transgressed against the Most High when they were so faint. All right, that they was eating, because Saul had charged them with the oath that no man could eat, which don't make any sense. You need your strength, all right, when you're going out to war. But this is just a this is just Yah showing how weak the children of Israel can be when their man goes out and fights the wars for them, instead of having Yah, the Creator, fight our battles for us. Okay, the people were very faint and weak because of an oath that Saul put forth that didn't make any sense at all. And Yehonatan told his father that because Yehonatan didn't hear the oath that Saul put forth, and he took of his staff and he ate some of the honey that was dripping from those trees. Okay, and when he took his staff and dipped it in a honeycomb, he dipped it in in the wood, He was in the woods in the thicket. He stuck his staff in the branch. Okay, and when it came up, there was a whole bunch of honey, and he ate some of it. And he had broken the oath unaware that his father had put forth. And Yohanan told him, he said, why do you what's the point of you making the people faint and weary, knowing that they go out to battle? Okay, see, Saul had no idea what he was doing. And this was Yah showing the children of Israel, when you ask for man to go out and fight your battles, this is what you get. All because we was doing just like we doing today, just trying to be like everybody else, trying to be like the other nations, instead of being what we were created to be, which is to be holy priests to Yah. Okay, a nation of priests, holy people, a peculiar people, to carry forth Yah's law, to disseminate Yah, the way of Yah, to the rest of the earth. Okay, to bring light to the people of the earth, to be intercessor between Yah and the people of the earth, and Yah's arm to be intercessor between Yah and the children of Israel and the people of the earth. Okay, but we don't want to do what we were created to do. We want to be like everybody else. We want to do what everybody else is doing. And this is why we in the situation we in now, because we want to be like the other nations. We want to be doing what everybody else doing. It's no different than today. Okay, our people acting like everybody else. You get these sisters out here that they want to change their hair. Okay, they want to dye their hair yellow, pink, blue, green, whatever, because they want to be like everybody else, straightening out their hair because they want to be anything but what Yah created them to be. This is just the same thing with the men too. Wanted to be like everybody else. Want to do anything but what Yah created you to do. To be a nation of priests, a holy people unto Himself. Okay, and when you children of Israel did this, they wanted to be like the other nations, and it's the way they said it. They wanted a king like the other nations, to go out and fight their battles for them. And so Saul, Yah gave him Saul, and Saul was weak. He made the people weak. The people made themselves weak by not trusting in Yah and wanting man to go out and fight their battles for them. Okay, just like today, people don't want to hear the way of Yah. You tell our people that they the people of the Most High, they fight you for that. When you tell them that they the chosen people of the Most High, Yah of hosts the King, and we the nation that Yah has chosen to Himself, when you tell our people that, who don't have any idea who they are, when you tell them that they the chosen people of the Most High, they will fight you to the death to prove to you that they not. That's how deep of a spell they're in. That's how much deep darkness that they're in. They're in so much darkness. When you tell them something like that, they will fight you for it. But if you tell them they ain't nothing but a bunch of niggas and hoes and things like that, then they like, yeah, you right, that's what I am. But if you tell them they the people of the Most High, they will fight you to the death for that. Okay? And we put ourselves in that situation because of this. We want to rather have a man go out and fight our battles for us instead of having Yah the Creator. Okay? We choose to follow man instead of doing what Yah, has put forth for us to do. Okay? So I'm here in Samuel chapter 14. Okay? And I'm going to start at verse 24. He says, and the men of Israel were distressed that day. Distressed. Okay? They wasn't, they wasn't joyful. Okay? They wasn't happy. Okay? When they came out and fought the Philistines with Saul, you had men that were fleeing into the rocks. Okay? I think it was about like 2,000 some men left with Saul or something like that. Hold on just a second. Because they all fled. And trembling. Okay, just a second. I think Saul started out with like 6,000 men, and only like a couple hundred was left with him because they fled. out of trembling. They became weak. They became fearful. Okay, because Yah was not their strength. Saul was their strength, and he couldn't provide much strength for them. Okay, so the people fled from the face of Saul. Okay, they fled because they became weak. All right, but I'm back over here. They were distressed that day. Okay, for Saul had adjured the people, saying, "Cursed be the man that eats any food until the evening. All right, that I may be avenged on my enemies." So none of the people tasted any food. It says, and all they of the land came to a wood, the woods. Okay, a bunch of trees. Okay, they came to the woods, and there was honey upon the ground. That syrupy, that sap was dripping from the trees. It was all over the ground. That's how much, honey there was. Syrup, syrupy substance, the maple, okay? All different types of sweetness that come from the trees itself. Okay, it was so much of that it was dripping so much, it was all on the ground. They walking through the woods, they walking in syrup. That's how much it was. Okay. Alright. And he says, and there was honey upon the ground, and when the people were come to the wood, behold, the honey dropped, but no man put his hand to his mouth, for the people feared the oath. But Jonathan heard not when his father charged the people with the oath. Wherefore he put forth the end of the rod that was in his hand, and dipped it in a honeycomb. Okay? Dipped it in the branch, or it's something that was on the ground, a thicket. Okay? The honeycomb, the thicket, wood, the woods, forest. Okay? And that's where he got the honey from. He didn't get it from a honeycomb of a bee, of the honeybees. He got it from all that syrupy substance that was dripping from those trees. And this is the thing that I didn't see at first. When y'all opened my eyes, allowed me to see this. Okay? Exactly what it's saying. The honey comes from the land. The honey comes from the land, okay? And he dipped it in the honeycomb and put his hand to his mouth, and his eyes were enlightened. Rich, thick honey, good and pleasant for the body. Okay? Pleasant for the body. I don't care what Esau telling you, in these science labs or whatever, whatever he come up with talking about the honey bee is good for you. It's not. The honey that comes from the bee is good. It's not good for you. Okay, whatever Esau puts forth, you better go the opposite way. Okay, because he's the prince of darkness. Okay, ain't nothing he do is right. He can't do right. He hasn't been doing right since the original Esau came upon us. Came about. He hadn't been doing right then. He ain't doing right now. He ain't never gonna do right. These Amalekites. They ain't never gonna do right. So anything they put forth, do the total opposite. Wherever he say is good, is bad for you. Wherever he say is bad for you, is more likely it's good for you. Okay? Like Yah says over in Yeshaya chapter 5, woe unto them that call evil good and good evil. Alright, that put light for darkness and darkness for light. Okay? The total opposite. Prince of darkness, not the prince of light. Okay? Alright? So it's a land that flows with milk and honey. Okay? Like I said, molasses, maple syrup. Okay? Syrupy substances that come from the fruits. That's what Yah provided for those people when they came into the woods. That's what they saw. Okay? Bees don't even produce that much honey for it to be dripping on the ground like that. Okay, just think about it. The honeybee don't produce that much honey for it to be dripping, be all over the ground like that. It had to come from the trees. The land produces the honey, which human beings may eat. Simple as that. Okay. Now, also in this book, you will see some, some unclean characteristics of these honeybees. Just look at the situation with Samuel. Okay, and you go and read that. Okay, after Samuel had tore the lion apart, and after a while, when he came back to walking that same path he came from when he met the lion, and when he looked on the carcass of the lion, okay, the honeybees had formed, okay, a honeycomb, or the honeycomb that the bees make inside the carcass of the dead lion. That is an unclean characteristic for them to form that inside a dead carcass. Just think about it. The bees don't discern where they get that nectar from, where they get the sweetness stuff from. They don't discern that. Because, Yah has created them, all right? And the honey that they produce is for their offspring. It ain't for us. Okay, but they formed that comb inside the carcass of a dead lion. Carcasses are an abomination. We are not supposed to touch the dead carcass of any beast. That's unclean in itself. And for Samuel to do what he thought was right in his own eyes, that last verse in the book of Judges. Okay, everybody did what they thought was right in their own eyes. And with him doing what he thought was right in his own eyes, he took some of that honey and gave it to his mother and father and didn't tell him where he got it from. Because maybe his father knew better than you ain't supposed to be eating that. But Samson thought he did what was right in his own eyes. And that's why Yah chose him. Because what was in Samson's heart? Samson loved many strange women. Okay? He loved, these strangers. He desired them. So whatever Samson desired, that's what he followed the desires of his own heart. He desired to eat the honey that come from the bee. And he gave it to his mother and father and didn't tell him where he got it from. He did what he thought was right in his own eyes. It's like many people do today. They're going to do what they think is right. Not necessarily what's right. They're going to do what they think is right. Or what they believe is right. Okay? Got a lot of people doing that today. They think, feel, and accept, alright, that chicken is good. They think, feel, and accept that pork is good for them. And they're going to eat it no matter what. Okay? They don't know, okay? Because they're not following this roadmap. Okay? Their house is not built on the sure foundation, the tried cornerstone, this law. Okay? Their law is, their laws is whatever man's laws are. That's what they go by. Whatever man is doing. Not what Yah is doing, but whatever man is doing. Okay? But yeah, that's a very unclean characteristic of the honeybee. Okay? To form a cone inside the carcass of a dead lion. That's probably been sitting there for months. Okay? That's a very unclean characteristic. Okay? Alright? So, like I said, man, we got to keep these laws. Okay? We got to discern between the clean and the unclean. We got to do that which is right in the sight of Yah. Okay? And we have to make sure, in captivity, make sure we read these labels. Okay? Try to buy organic, what they, and that's another thing. You can't even trust the word organic on these labels no more. Okay? Like I said, you can't trust Esau. You can't trust them. Okay? You just got to pray to Yah. And like I said, if you about Yah, Yah ain't going to allow you to eat anything that's detrimental to your health. Alright? Okay? Y'all's gonna put you in a situation where you can eat as healthy as you can eat and land in captivity. Okay? But blessed be the day, when Yah starts to clean up the earth. All right, and those waters start to flow into Jerusalem. And once again, the land is, we cleanse the land of all idolatry, and we start to prepare that third and last temple. And in the process of doing that, like I said, those streams will flow into the land again, and we will drink of those waters, and that's when the cleansing process will begin. Okay, so until then, we just got to do the best we can, and we gotta, like I said, we gotta read labels, because there's a lot of things out here that Esau puts in the food, okay, that's very detrimental to your health. Okay, they're trying to kill the masses of the earth. They want to kill a lot of people, and they're doing it through the food source. Okay, they got so much toxins and things that you can't even imagine. Okay, and they putting it in the food. Okay, and they put some of these things in here to get you hooked on them. Okay, like these additives that they put in the foods, mostly in cereals and things like that. And those things are very detrimental to children. Okay, they're behavior modifiers. Okay, they change the way the children act. It makes them hyper. Okay. It gets them hooked, like high fructose corn syrup and mess like that. Okay, to keep you hooked. Alright, to keep you chasing that sugar high. Okay? That's why you gotta read your labels. Make sure you stay away from anything that, if it talks about, if it says high fructose corn syrup on it, you stay away from it. Okay? Now, of course, there's natural fructose in fruits and and things like that. But when you see high fructose corn syrup, that's GMO. That's genetically modified. Okay, and they're genetically modifying just about everything. Just about everything they're genetically modifying. Anything you can think of is genetically modified, made in a science lab. And that's the food that they assimilate into the people of the earth. Okay, that's why you get a lot of uprising in these countries, because you get these companies like Monsanto's, which is Illuminati controlled. Okay, they're taking over the natural resources, okay, of these different places of the earth. They're stripping them of their natural resources, and they providing these people, okay, with GMOs. And a lot of these people ain't going for it. That's why they uprising against the companies like Monsanto. Okay, because the people of the earth, they want clean food, they want clean water. Okay, but this is not going to happen until Yah is established. Okay, this is not going to happen until Yah is established, and there ain't no other way it can happen. That's the only way that we're going to get a clean heaven and a clean earth. We gotta go through Yah. There's no other way. Okay, we definitely can't run the man and expect he who's trying to. How can you expect a person who's trying to kill you to help you? It doesn't even make any. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. So, like I said, we have to lean on Yah, and we're not going to get perfectly clean water. We're not going to get clean food until Yah is established. Okay? That's when we will get clean food. We get clean water. Okay? When we get to the land and Yah, we start to purge that land of all idolatry, and Yah starts to establish His way. Okay? He will provide for us good food and good water. All right? Good food to eat and good water to drink. Okay? Alright? But we have to discern. Alright, we have to come to this book, we have to come to this law, we have to read these laws, we have to study them, we have to pray, we have to do. There's no other way around it. Okay, there's no other way around it. Okay? Alright. So, like I said, it's hard today to find good farmers. Okay, most of the people, shop through these super farms, which is a prophecy in itself. Okay, we go to the book of Jeremiah chapter 50. Okay, what does y'all say there? How Esau has attacked the farmers. Okay, Esau has attacked the farmers. It's hard to find good farmers. All right, Esau, you know, he's taking over these super farms and he's flipped everything GMO. Okay, verse 16 in chapter 50, Jeremiah, commonly called Jeremiah. All right, cut off the sower from Babylon and him that handles the sickle in the time of harvest. All right, for the fear of the oppressing sword. We know who carries the sword. Genesis chapter 27. It's the descendants of Esau. Okay. They shall turn everyone to his people, and they shall flee everyone to his own land. Okay. So cut off. All right, the sower from Babylon, the daughter of Babylon, United States of America. Okay, and him that handles the sickle in the time of harvest. They attack the farmers. Okay, and they come up with these super farms that produce these GMO products that's very detrimental to your health. Okay, very detrimental to your health. All right, so you know things are not going to get any better until Yah is established. Okay, so His way is established. All right. It's not going to get any better unless Yah is at the behest of whatever it is that's going on. Okay, Yah has to be in front of everything. Okay, we done seen how the world becomes when man tries to run it on his own. Okay, it's a terrible place to live. Okay. So we have to come back to this law. We have to read, we have to pray, we have to study, we have to do. Okay? We have to keep Yah first at all times. Alright? Now, I brought something up off the internet. This is article that I got. Actually, no, this was out the Delaware News Journal. Okay, Delaware News Journal. Okay, the paper for Newcastle County, Delaware. All right, and Delaware is one of the most predominant, mass producers of chicken in the country. Okay, you got all the chicken plants and chicken farms here in Sussex County, Delaware. Okay, and a lot of these companies, okay, are losing a lot of money. Why? Because of the bird flu. Okay, it's one of the largest. Matter of fact, read the article. This is what it says. I printed it off the. I don't know if you can see it. All right. But bird flu, all right, largest animal, okay, largest animal crisis, health emergency crisis in history, okay, from these chickens, all right. These chickens are unclean, okay. Yah is sending plagues, okay. It's the whole overwhelming amount of plagues that's going on through these chickens and turkeys also. It mentions turkeys in here too. But let me read what it says. Alright, this is out of Washington. Okay. It says the chief veterinary officer of the United States laid out a dire picture Wednesday of the devastating spread of highly contagious bird flu this year through some 232 poultry factories or facilities, forcing the killing of 7.5 million turkeys and 42 million chickens. Let me read that again. Alright, forcing the killing of 7.5 million turkeys and 42 million chickens. Now you tell me if this is if these are clean birds that that you can eat. I mean, oh my goodness, including roughly 10% of the nation's egg-laying population. All right. So, there's only missing chicken and turkeys here, which are very detrimental to your health. Okay. All right. This is July 9th, 2015. All right. July 9th, 2015, out of the Wilmington, Delaware News Journal. Okay. This article comes, I guess this chief veterinary officer, he comes out of Washington, D.C., okay, which is about an hour and a half away from where I'm sitting right now, in D.C., okay. And a lot of these chicken plants are losing a lot of money because they had to kill all these chickens, okay. This is letting you know that these chickens are unclean to you. Okay, we're not supposed to be dealing with them. We're not supposed to be eating them. Okay, chickens are an unclean bird. Turkeys are an unclean bird, if you want to call them birds. Okay, because I still don't understand how the chicken even got here. Okay, like I said, more likely it was made up of two different birds, and out came the chicken. Same way with the turkey. Made from two different birds, mixing seed, which is against the law itself. We're not supposed to mingle seed. Okay, that right there is forbidden in the law of Yah. You ain't supposed to be eating nothing that's of mingled seed. So when you eat chicken, you breaking the law all around. You eating something that's of mingled seed, also you eating something that's unclean, that does not discern what it eats. And these are the type of plagues that you get when you eat unclean things. You get things like the bird flu, the swine flu. Okay? Because these things are unclean. And y'all making it very clear that these things are unclean to you. They're very detrimental to your health. Alright, ain't no way around it. Okay? Alright, it says of course they're going to try to soften it up. He said the disease is yet to strike poultry in Delaware, but officials here are taking extra precaution. And that right there, that's not true. Okay, because I work at a chicken plant. Okay, I don't touch the chicken or nothing like that. I work in the shipping dock. I'm far away from the chicken. I don't go nowhere near it. Okay, and I thank y'all for having for putting me in a position where I don't go nowhere near the chicken. Okay, because y'all knows how I am. I don't like to touch anything that's unclean. Okay, all right. Yeah, I don't like to touch unclean birds. That's definitely dead ones. All right, but right there when he said that this hasn't hit Delaware, he's lying. That's not true, because business is very slow. Okay, where I work, because of this mass killing of these chickens who obtained this bird flu. And like I said, Delaware is basically like the mass producer in this country when it comes to chicken. You get people, companies all over the country come to Delaware to get their chicken, from California, Jersey, Georgia, Utah. Okay, all over the country to get their chicken from here, from Delaware, because Delaware is the mass producer of chicken in the nation. Okay, and this bird flu has struck it, is high, definitely here in Delaware. But this is where they grow and farm, they farm raise these birds. And this is why business is slow, because they're killing off these chickens who obtain this disease. Okay, who they shooting up with hormones and antibiotics and all types of unclean things. And these people eat these things and don't even necessarily know what they're eating. They just eat these things because that's what they desire to do. And most of them know that these things are, they're detrimental to their health. But like I said in the beginning of this session, death is chosen rather than life. Some people, like I say, some of these Negroes done told me, look, man, I don't want to hear that not eating pork mess. Don't come to me with that. And I don't come to it with it either. I don't say nothing about it. Okay? You know, but don't be apologizing to me when you eating you eating a ham sandwich in front of my face. I don't care. You can eat whatever you want. That's between you and Yah. It ain't got nothing to do with me. Okay? So if you know it's wrong, why you apologizing to me for eating? I don't care if you eat pork. You're not hurting me. I'm not offended. Okay, whatsoever. Okay, but yeah, these people, I don't want to hear that I can't eat no pork. I'm gonna die eating my pork. That's what they say. I'm gonna die anyway. I might as well go out eating pork. Okay, but see, they don't know the way Yah. They don't know the blessings that's to come upon those who wait on Yah. And then what Yah says, okay, you should not be ashamed those that wait on me. Okay, we shall not be ashamed that wait on Yah. Okay, you shall not be ashamed if you wait on Yah continually. All right. But yeah, these Negroes, I'm telling you, man, my people, man, look, they say I'm gonna die eating pork. I mean, I don't, they tell me, hey, I don't want to hear that, and I don't say nothing about it either. I don't say nothing. Okay. You can't tell me, you ain't gonna sit here and tell me I ain't gonna eat chicken. That's these are things that they say. I'm gonna eat chicken. I'm gonna eat pork. I'm gonna eat this bacon. Like I said, they put bacon on everything now. Abomination on top of abomination. Yeah, they put bacon on it. Whatever anything you can think of, they're gonna put bacon in it. Okay, that's the daughter of Babylon for you. Okay, that's the daughter of Babylon for you. All right. Here's another. This is from RT. Okay, there's been a severe outbreak of salmonella coming from these chickens, from these people touching chickens. Just touching them, not even eating them. Just touching them. A severe outbreak of salmonella. This comes out of, this is an article on RT. Salmonella outbreak caused by cuddling with chickens. Okay? Touching the chickens, hugging them. And, this weird stuff. Okay? It's just don't make any sense. Don't make any sense. These chickens are unclean. They carry diseases. They carry. It's an abomination. You ain't supposed to eat them. You ain't supposed to touch them. All right. You ain't supposed to be eating these unclean things. All right. We got to discern, between clean and unclean. That's our job. All right. But like I said, like it's mentioned in this book, Yah chose us to be a holy people unto Him. Okay, a nation of priests. Okay, a nation of priests. We're supposed to discern between the clean and unclean. That's our job. That's what we do. Magnify Yah's law, make it honorable. Okay. So, you can say, you go through this book, you read it. Yah He's making it very plain the things that we may eat and things we may not eat. Okay? And we definitely can't eat the blood. Definitely can't eat the fat. Okay? That's leading people astray. Okay? Because, you might come across somebody who's trying to really, really looking to learn and seeking truth. And they hear you say stuff like that. They hear you say something like that. If anybody's being a burden on the people, it's you. Anyone, I'm not, not just this contrarian, if those know who I'm talking about. Like I said, I don't get into all that. But, anyone, any Israelite on it, anyone who's saying that it's okay to eat the blood and the fat, it's okay to eat chicken, it's okay to eat turkey, it's okay to eat pork. Anyone who's saying that is being a burden to himself and whoever, you know, he's telling these things. Okay? Leading people astray. You cannot eat the blood. The blood is the life. You cannot eat the fat. Okay? So you got to discern between the clean and unclean. And you got to keep Yah first at all times. You have to obey this law as best as you can. Alright? We have to magnify Yah's law, make it honorable. This is the law that we live by. Okay? Everything on this earth has a law to it, including human beings. And when you get off that law, when you go astray from that law, then that's when you start to have all types of problems. You start to have all types of problems when you get away from, okay, when you pick and choose what you're going to do with this law. When you eat off the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Okay, when you do these things, then you've cut yourself off from the tree of life. Alright? Like y'all told our forefathers in Yeremiah, chapter 2. Okay? When he says, you know, we have forsaken the fountain of living waters and chose us cisterns, okay, that could hold no water. What's the second? I like to read everything straight out the book, like we're supposed to do, you know. That's why we got this book here. This book has been, you know, it's all over the earth. Okay, when you go to Yeremiah chapter 2, verse 13, for my people have committed two evils. Okay, they have forsaken me, the fountain of living waters, and hewed them out cisterns, broken cisterns that can hold no water. Okay, that's what we've done. Okay, Yah has put forth a dietary law for us to eat. Okay, all right, He's put forth a dietary law. Okay, and in that dietary law, okay, you know, that prolongs your days. When you eat, you know, when you eat off the tree of life, which is Yah of hosts, by sticking to this dietary law, okay, you can drink of Him freely, the fountain of living waters. Okay, but we have to, you know, keep hold of this law and do whatever it is that Yah has put forth for us to do with a perfect heart. It can't be a burden to you. If you sitting back saying, you know, why I gotta do this, why I gotta do that, then, you know, you might as well not do it at all. Okay? So, you know, like I was mentioning before, you gotta read labels. Okay, it's a lot of things out here that's detrimental to you, and you know, you have to be able to discern as best you can. You pray to Yah, you know, and ask Yah to give you the wisdom and understanding that you can see these things clearly. Okay, so you don't make a mistake and eat unclean and unhealthy things that can be very detrimental to your body. Okay, all right, you have to stick to this dietary law as best as you can in captivity. Not turning from the left or to the right. Okay, so like I said, you know, it's always been a pleasure to go over these laws, statutes, and commandments. All right, and you know, we keep Yah first at all times. Okay, and you know, like I said, we meditate on these laws day and night. And actually, I'm gonna take you over to Deuteronomy chapter 6. I always like to read this. You know, this is a... Alright? And it says, now these are the commandments, the statutes, and the judgments which Yah, your strength, commanded to teach you, that ye may do them in the land whither you go to possess it, that you might fear Yah, your strength, to keep all His statutes and His commandments, which I command you, you and your son and your son's sons, all the days of your life, that your days may be prolonged. Okay, prolonged. He says, hear therefore, O Israel, and observe to do it, that it may be well with you, and that you may increase mightily, as Yah the Holy One of, or the strong one of your fathers have promised you, in the land that flows with what? Milk and honey, or milk and sweeteners, syrupy sweeteners that the land produces. Okay, like we just read over in 1 Samuel chapter 14, verses 24, 25, 26. Alright. Hear, O Israel, Yah, our strength is one Yah. One, okay, ain't no multiple. It's just one creator, one strength, one Holy One of Israel, and all peoples of the earth. Okay, there's no one beside him. Okay, like Dawid says, in his prayer to Yah. Okay, he have heard no other strength besides Yah with all his ears. Okay, he have heard of no other strength. Okay, so I ask these people. Okay, when I bring them to what's that? 2 Samuel chapter 7. 2 Samuel chapter 7. Hold this spot right here, because I'm gonna finish reading, about the commandments and how we're supposed to keep the law. Just hold that spot. Okay, but there's only one Yah. Okay, only one He who creates, not two, not three, not four, not five, but one. There ain't no son of Yah. Ain't nothing like that. You will never read anything in this book pertaining to anything of such nature. The only thing you will see in this book where it talks about the son of Yah, okay, is talking about the children of Israel. Exodus chapter 4 verse 22, Hosea chapter 11 verse 1, the first verse in Hosea chapter 11. Okay, he brought his son out of Egypt. Who is his son? Exodus chapter 4 verse 22. Israel. Okay, it's not one man. Okay, or one being, one entity. You ain't gonna find nothing in this book that says anything like that. Never will. Okay. Alright, let me just find this spot where Dawid, okay, here verse 22. Okay. 2 Samuel chapter 7 verse 22. What does Dawid say there? It says, wherefore you are great, O Yah. Alright. Strength, the strong one. And there is none like you, neither is there any strong one beside you, according to all that we have heard with our ears. So where is this JC? Where is this Yeshua? Where is this main idol of the New Testament? The New Testament, which is already right there, is a red flag. What Moses said in Deuteronomy chapter 32 verse 17. Okay, that's automatically raises a red flag. The New Testament, short and simple. Okay, but Dawid has never heard of any other strong one beside Yah. Neither anyone of that generation or the generation before. Okay, never heard of any entity called JC, Yeshua, Yahweh. So where people get in this mess? They get it from the precepts of men, like it says over in Yeshaya chapter 29. Okay, with their lips, people, they do honor me. This is Yah talking. Okay. But they fear towards me is taught by the precepts of men. Okay? This movement, Yah righteousness, is not so. For this movement was cut out of the mountain without hands. This movement is not predicated on the precepts of man. But this movement moves at the behest of Yah of hosts, the King, the fountain of living waters, the spirit and creator of all things. Okay? That's why it's hard for people to comprehend and to understand. Okay? Just like you look at when you watch that, the first show, Mark couldn't understand it. When Yahudah was telling him, he could not understand it. He was, he was like, there's no way this brother could know without going to some man. He said, somebody had to teach you this. Somebody had to teach you this. He don't understand that this comes from Yah of hosts, the King. They can't comprehend that. Because the way they've been raised, everything that they have known, well, I don't want to say no, they don't really know anything. But everything that they think they know has been taught by the precepts of men. They don't know Yah. They fear towards Yah, or who they say God, has only been taught by the precepts of men. That's all they know. So when you come to them and say that this is Yah that has given me this illumination, okay, they don't understand that. They can't comprehend that. Okay, that's like a foreign language to them. They say you have to have been taught by a man. That's all they understand, because that's all they, think they know. That you gotta go to man to understand this book. You can't learn this book unless you go to man. That's what that's their mindset. That's their mindset. The fear towards Yah is taught by the precepts of men. That's why the people of the earth, on this earth are in gross darkness, because they don't understand it. You can't go to no educational facility to learn this. Okay, so when you get these rabbis that talk about they went to these Jewish schools or these schools of Judaism and all that crap, they far off the path. Simple as that. They far off the path. Okay. The fear of Yah is the beginning of all wisdom and knowledge. Proverbs. Okay, that's in Proverbs. Excuse me. And what's the fear of Yah? By obeying this law. This law is first and foremost. Okay, first and foremost. Okay, when in doubt, you always go to the law. You do this law exactly the way it is written. You follow these laws exactly the way Yah has put them forth. Okay? Don't turn to the side, not turn to the left or to the right. Not putting yourself before the Creator. Okay? But His laws are first. His law is light. His law is wisdom. Okay? His law is what we should be doing. All the work of our hands should be according to Yah's law. Simple as that. Okay. And in these laws, it includes the dietary law. All right, how we supposed to conduct ourselves as men and women, as children. How we are to teach our children these laws, statutes, and commandments. And that's why I'm gonna take you back over here to Deuteronomy chapter 6, what I was reading. Okay. Now, Yah is only one creator. There's only one creator. There's only one savior. 43:11 Yeshaya. I am Yah. This is the words of the Creator now. I am Yah, and beside me there is no savior. So where people getting this JC crap from? Ye are my witnesses. We the servants of Yah, our righteous is the King. We are His witnesses. We know unequivocally that it's not, that it's just Yah. It's just Yah, nothing else. Nothing that can compare to Yah, host the King. Nothing. And besides Him, there is none, and it never will be. It was Him, and He was the only, He was the Creator in the beginning, and He's going to be the only one in the last. Ain't going to be no one beside Him. Okay, so this is what Yah promised. All right, He had promised you in a land. He promised us the land that flows with milk and honey. Okay, like it says over in Ezekiel chapter 36, it's going to be like the Garden of Eden again. Once Yah cleans it up. Okay, it's going to be like the Garden of Eden. Ezekiel chapter 36. Okay, after He runs those descendants of Esau out of that land and judges them in their land south of the Dead Sea in the land of Idumea. Idumea should become, alright, like a burning pitch. Yah's going to consume those Edomites in their land. And once they're run out and judged, That's when Yah is going to work through these kings and queens. He's going to bring back his movement. All right. One like the Son of Man going to fly with the clouds of heaven. Daniel chapter 7. Okay. And once we return, we start getting rid of all idolatry. Ezekiel chapter 11, verse 18. Okay. Ezekiel chapter 11, verse 18. Let me get there real quick and read what Yah says we're going to do. What we're going to do once we return to the land. Okay. And they shall come thither, and they shall take away all the detestable things thereof, and all the abominations thereof from thence. That's what we do when as soon as we hit the ground running. That's what we do. We take away all the detestable things and the abominations from that place, which is going to cause us to get attacked. But Yah's going to be our strength and shield, all who trust in Him. Okay? Yah is not contrary. Alright? Remember that. Yah is not contrary. If you trust in the Most High, if you obey this law, with all your heart and soul, okay, He is not going to allow you to die. Okay? He's not contrary. He's not going to put forth a prophecy and allow you to see the prophecy clearly and not being able to witness it. Okay? Isaiah chapter 57. Okay? He's not going to always be wroth. Okay? Lest the spirit shall fail before Him and the souls which He have made. Okay? He's not going to allow those who cleave to His, His law, statutes, and commandments, okay, who magnifies His law and make it honorable. He's not going to allow you to fall. He's not going to allow you to be put to death. Okay, Yah's not contrary. He's not going to put forth a prophecy once again and allow you to see the prophecy clearly and you not being able to witness it with your own eyes. Okay, you only can fall. You allow yourself to fall if you walk off the path, if you go astray. Okay, like we've seen many have done, and there's going to be plenty more. Yah is purging off all the weak links. Okay? He's purging off all the weak. You got to be mentally strong in Yah. If you not, then you ain't going to make it. You're not going to make it. Simple as that. Okay? That's why we cleave to this law with all our heart and soul. We lean on the law, we lean on Yah. It's about doing what's right. You do what you're supposed to do. You do what you're supposed to do. Not what you want to do, but what you're supposed to do. Because it's not about us. We can't have our way. It's only Yah's way. Okay, so I'm going to go over here and finish reading one of my favorite chapters in this book. Deuteronomy chapter 6. I go back here and I left off at verse 4. Alright, and it says in verse 5, and you shall love Yah your strength with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your might. Okay, with all your soul. Alright. And these words which I command you this day shall be in your heart, and you shall teach them diligently unto your children, and shall talk of them when you sittest in your house, and when you walkest by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up. And you shall bind them for a sign upon your hand, and they shall be as frontlets between your eyes. You keep your mind stayed on these laws. All the work of your hands to be according to Yah's law. Without a doubt. As long as you do that, as long as you apply this verse, Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 7, excuse me, and 8. Okay? If you do this, matter of fact, you know what? verses 5, 6, 7, and 8. If you apply these verses, there's no way that Yah will allow you to fall. So whenever you get in doubt, wherever you start to, which you should have no doubt at all. But once again, we human beings. You just turn to Deuteronomy chapter 6 and read verses 5, 6, 7, and 8. And that's what you do. Simple as that. It's not hard. Like y'all says over there in Deuteronomy chapter, what's that? Excuse me right now. Deuteronomy chapter 30. You get down around verses, let me see, let's read it. But this is right near to you, okay? When y'all says it's near, right up on you, you don't need no one to walk across the river to bring it to you. You don't need no one to go up into heaven to bring it to you. But the word is right near and dear to your heart, right there in front of you. It's not hard. Okay? It's not hard. This is not a hard thing. This is not a vain thing, O Israel. Alright? This is not a vain thing to you. Alright? This is not a vain thing to you. Alright? Deuteronomy chapter 32. Alright? Let me get to that. Let me get to this first. Over in Deuteronomy chapter 30. Okay? Starting at verse 11. I'm taking Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 11. Okay, for this commandment which I command you this day, it is not hidden from you, neither is it far off. Okay, definitely ain't far off. What did y'all say over there in Yeshaya, commonly called Isaiah chapter 46, verse 13, and Isaiah chapter 51 and 5? Alright, his righteousness is near. Okay, what does it say in Isaiah chapter 34? Alright, when you get down there to verse 17. Alright, seek ye out the book of Yah and what? And read. Isn't that the new covenant that's over there in Yeremia chapter 31:31? Okay, seek ye out the book of Yah and read. Okay, it is near to you. It's not far off. His righteousness is very near to you. Okay, so it's no excuse. Okay, it's no excuse. All right, it says it is not in heaven that you should say, who shall go up for us to heaven and bring it unto us, that we may hear it and do it. Okay, like they, the crap that they preach over there in the New Testament, that you got to go through this so-called son in order to get to Yah. That don't make, that's total contradiction to what Yah has put forth in this book. Totally contradiction. Excuse me. It's a total contradiction. All right. It says, neither is it beyond. All right. Verse 13. Neither is it beyond the sea. Okay, that you should say, who shall go over the sea for us and bring it unto us, that we may hear it and do it. But the word is very near unto you, in your mouth and in your heart, that you may do it. See, I have set before you this day in life, in good, in death, in evil. Okay. Alright. It says, and that I command you this day to love Yah your strength, to walk in his ways, and to keep his commandments and his statutes and his judgments, that you may live and multiply. You may live and multiply. That's how you live, you prolong your days on this earth. Just go ahead and read Deuteronomy chapter 4 and see how many times prolong is mentioned in that chapter. You prolong your days, which means one day you got to die. Okay? And for the men, you pass on the torch to your seed. And it keeps going on and on and on. That way your name will never be blotted out from this earth. No matter what they do, when they trace it all the way back, it comes right back to you. The repairers of the breach. Okay? We will always be known as repairers of the breach. Yeshaya chapter 58. Okay? Like he says over there in Yeshaya chapter 59. When you go ahead and read that last verse in Yeshaya chapter 59, commonly called Isaiah. Yah's word should not depart out of your mouth, your seed's mouth, and your son's sons, even forever. That's the everlasting life, spoken over in Daniel chapter 12. Alright, when it says some shall awake, and many shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt. Well, the everlasting life is not saying that one man gonna live forever. It's just saying like what it says over there in Yeshaya chapter 59. Okay, Yah, the word of Yah, his law is not going to depart out of your mouth or your son's mouth or your son's sons even forever. That's the everlasting life, which is better than anything you can ever get on this earth, is to know that your sons are going to always be about the Creator. It's going to be like that forever, and it's never going to end. That right there is better than anything that y'all can give you. But see, you get a lot of these people today, like the same thing they were saying over there in the time of Nehemiah, Nehemiah. Okay, when you go over there in Malachi chapter 3, what were they saying? It's vain to serve Yah. It's vain to serve Yah. What good is it to keeping these laws and we gonna be cut off, for a very long time? What good is it? That's what you get a lot of people to say today. What good is it? Keep the law for what? I might as well do what I want to do if I'm going to die anyway. But they don't understand this book. They don't understand the everlasting life that Yah has promised us. That he's going to always keep our seed on this earth. That you always want to have a male that came out of your loins that's going to be about the Creator. And that's never going to end. That's what it's all about. It ain't about no one being selfish. That all about themselves. Okay? See, the selfish heart don't, it won't allow him to think like that. It won't allow him to see it the way y'all put it forth. For your seed to be on this earth forever. Okay? They don't see that. Okay? I'm back here over in Deuteronomy chapter 30. And that I command you this day, I'm in verse 16. Alright? And that I command you this day to love Yah your strength, to walk in his ways, and to keep his commandments and his statutes and his judgments, that you may live and multiply. And Yah your strength shall bless you in the land whither you go to possess it. But if your heart turn away, so that you will not hear, but shall be drawn away and worship other idols and serve them, like many of our people do today. They worship in Jesus, they worship in Allah, they worship in themselves. Okay, I denounce unto you this day that you shall surely perish. Alright, the everlasting shame and contempt spoken in your Daniel 12, right? You shall perish off this earth. Okay, which is the biggest thing that, the most scariest thing that you can imagine. To perish and never be remembered again. Just like it is, like you was never here. Have nothing to carry on. I couldn't imagine. That's why, I wake up every day and I thank Yah for prolonging my days on this earth. And I pray that he keep my seed on this earth. Because ain't nothing more scary than not being remembered. Just to perish, just to vanish, like you was never here in the first place. That's why you fear Yah. You fear Yah with all your heart and soul. Okay? It says, I denounce unto you this day that you shall surely perish, and that ye shall not prolong your days upon the land whither you go, whether you passes over Jordan to possess it. I call heaven and earth to record this day against you, that I have set before you life and death, blessing and curse. Therefore choose life, that both you and your seed may live. That's the breath of life that was given to Adam, the law. Okay, that's how you become a living soul. Just go over there and read Ezekiel chapter 37 when he talks about the valley of dry bones. Okay? Those bones had no life in them because they were dead. They had no spirit. Okay? There was no law. Like we were walking dead at some point. Okay? What happens when something dies? God takes his spirit from that man or beast. And it is dead. So the law, when you got the law in you, you applying the law, that's the spirit of Yah. That's how you become a living soul. That's why Yah is the tree of life. You eat off the tree of life. When you eat off the tree of life, you become a living soul. You are alive now. And when Yah takes that spirit from you, okay, just like, you know, some that come into this movement, you know, they about the law, they doing what's right, but then once they turn away, then this is exactly what it says over there in Ezekiel chapter 18. Okay, when you doing what's right, when you turn away from your righteousness and start committing wickedness, you gonna die in your iniquity, and none of your righteousness is gonna be remembered. Okay, just go over there and read Ezekiel chapter 18 and see what Yah says for those who turn away from their righteousness and start commit wickedness. Okay, and we witnessed that here in this movement. Okay. They were alive and now they're dead. Yah taking his spirit away from me. He's cut you off. That's what it talks about when you cut. He said you should be cut off from your people. You're going to be cut off from the tree of life. He cut you off. You are now walking dead. Yeah, you don't die right away. In some cases, you might die right away, but most of the time, yeah, you might not die right on the spot, but you cut yourself off from the tree of life. You are now walking dead. You now have no spirit. Yah's spirit is not dwelling among you anymore. You've cut yourself off. Okay, so choose life, that you and your seed may live. Okay. It says that you may love Yah your strength, and that you may obey his voice. Okay, be obedient. You have to obey the voice of Yah, and that means obey this law. Ain't no fear. If you don't fear, if you don't obey this law, you don't fear Yah. Straight simple. It's as simple as that. Okay. And it says that you may cleave unto him, for he is your life. He is your life. When you obey this law, when you apply this law, his spirit enters into you and you become a living soul. Once you depart from that, he takes his spirit away from you and you are now walking dead. Okay, so that's the breath of life. When you obey this law, okay, that's why here Yah righteousness, we magnify this law and make it honorable, because this is the life. For Yah is your life. To eat off the tree of life, you become a living soul. Okay, you see what it says here? For he is your life in the length of your days, that you may dwell in the land which Yah swore unto your fathers, to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, to give them. Okay. Alright. So like Yah says over there in 32 Deuteronomy. Okay, when you get over there to verse 47, 32:47. Okay. For it is not a vain thing for you, because it is your life. Alright. And through this thing you shall prolong your days in the land whither you go over Jordan to possess it. Now I still don't understand what our forefathers was thinking when they turned away from the law of Yah. And they actually witnessed how Yah was, how he delivered those nations who were stronger and mightier than they were, who had a bigger army than them, and how Yah delivered these people into their hands. How could you turn away from the Most High? I don't understand that. Because they had no faith in Yah, like most people don't today. And you see a lot of people, they becoming weak, alright, in this movement, because their patience is running thin. Okay? Because it's almost 2016 and they wanted they wanted Yah to deliver us 3 years ago. Okay, and it ain't work like that. So their patience is running thin and they becoming weak and they falling off the path. They weak just like our forefathers was when they were walking in the wilderness. They want it to happen right now. They don't have the patience, so they become weak and they fall off the path. Some of them say, "Oh, it's vain. Why we gonna keep these laws? It ain't happened yet. When is it gonna happen?" because they want it to happen when they ready to, when they want it to happen, not even knowing that they might not even be ready to go back to the land just yet. You can't be righteous in your own eyes. Okay. All right, I'm going to take you back over here. Also, let me read something from Deuteronomy chapter 4. Okay, hold on, I'm going to get back into Deuteronomy chapter 6 in just a second. All right, I'm going to finish that off. Okay, but in Deuteronomy chapter 4, okay, like I was talking about earlier, okay, how the children of Israel, when you go over to 1 Samuel, I think that's chapter 8, around verse 7 and 9, when they said they wanted a king to be like the other nations, and that's the mindset of the children of Israel today. They want to be like the other nations. They want to serve the other nations' idols and images, okay, which was prophesied in the curse that that we would do, okay, because we didn't want to serve Yah. That Yah was going to make, He was going to make us serve our enemies' idols and images, who we love, and we still love to this day. I mean, look how all these church houses are burned down, and these Negroes still talking about how they love JC. Okay, our brothers, the so-called Palestinians. Okay, some of them, not all of them. Okay, I ain't gonna sit there and say all Palestinians are Israelites. That wouldn't be true. Okay, but the Palestinians who are Israelites, what do? They into Islam. Been like that since ever since the kingdom was split into two, since the days of Yeroboam, the son of Nebat. Okay, they have not turned to Yah ever since then. Why? Because they want to be like everybody else, and because they wanted to be like everybody else, Yah gave them into the hands of everybody else. And look how they've been treated, coming up through time. And now look at this situation. It's horrible. Okay, look how they living. A year after, the Edomites, the archers, they hated Y.O.R, Ephraim, okay, and shot at him. All right, the archers have hated him and shot at him, like it was prophesied in Genesis chapter 49, the prophecy on Y.O.R. The archers, the descendants of Esau who lived by the sword, they have sorely hated him and shot at him. Going over there in Genesis chapter 49 and read it. Okay. Hewn down there, the Gaza Strip. They got something on I think it's RT or Democracy Not Forget. They got so much things on the so-called Palestinians and just the situation that they living in. And, hopefully on the Q&A I'll be able to get that to you. I think it was on RT. I should definitely have this when this plays on the Q&A. Okay, I have that article for you about the so-called Palestinians and how they're living 1 year after they were, the Gaza Strip was bombed to shreds. Okay, and how those so-called Palestinian, the children of Israel, are living in, majority of them are homeless, and those who, wherever they live, you might as well say they homeless, because like I said, it's horrible. But that's because they want to be like everybody else. Okay? They don't want to do what Yah created us to do. Okay? And this is what He created us to do. And this is what we're supposed to do. Alright? Over in Deuteronomy chapter 4. Okay? And I'm going to start at verse... Just a second. I'm going to start at verse. I'm just taking it from the top. Alright. It says, "Now therefore hearken, O Israel, unto the statutes and unto the judgments which I teach you for to do them, that ye may live." You see that? Anytime it's talking about the law, these statutes, these commandments, these judgments, these precepts, these ordinances, what does it always say? So that you may live and prolong your days. For the law is your length of days. That's what it says when they're talking about this law. Okay? That you may live and go in and possess the land which Yah, your strength, alright, the Holy One of your fathers gives you. You should not add unto the word of Yah. Alright, you should not add unto the word which I command you, neither shall you diminish ye aught from it, that ye may keep the commandments, alright, of Yah your strength which I command you. Okay? You should not add or diminish. Okay? So where in this book does it say you can eat blood and fat? When Yah specifically says you can't eat blood and fat. Where does it say that you ain't supposed to acknowledge the Sabbath day? Or any of y'all Sabbath days? Isn't that diminishing from the law? Ain't you taken away? Okay? And it's not just directed at one person. This is directed at all the children of Israel who into this idolatry mess. Okay? Who talking about you can't keep the Sabbath day in captivity. Who going by the moon and all that, talking about we supposed to do the Sabbath this way. Y'all ain't say nothing about we supposed to be observing no Sabbath off no moon. Where you getting that from? Like I was telling you, you know, the person who no longer with this movement no more. We was going back and forth with this. Okay, and I only, you know, I'm gonna be honest. I only was going back and forth with this person because he was cared about. I usually don't go back and forth with anyone, especially when it comes to this book. I let the book speak for itself. Because I can't turn nobody. I can't make no one understand. Only y'all can do that. Okay, but when I'm going, you know, me and this person, we going back and forth. Okay, and he talking about, you know, we supposed to be observing the Sabbath by the moon. I said, where is that in the law? He couldn't find it. To this day, he still got my number. Call me and let me know where is it in this book where we supposed to be observing the Sabbath by the moon. I have not read that. If you've read that, call 302-241-5364 and let me know where that's at. I have not read anywhere in this book where y'all says we supposed to observe the holy Sabbath day and the cycle begins off the moon. So where are you getting that from? You should not add or diminish to this law. And I'm you know, no matter what he's saying, I'm like, yo, you got to show me where in the law does it say this. He couldn't tell me. You cannot add to this law to try to, you know, to try to fit whatever you know, whatever you think you understand. You can't do that. If it's not in the law, then it's not in the law for a reason. It's not the way of Yah if it's not in this law. So, you know, where are you getting that from? I haven't read that nowhere. And of course, yeah, like, you know, like what was mentioned before, we don't have the right time, and we ain't gonna get the right time here in captivity. But Yah will make it clear, and when Yah makes it clear, that's what we will do. But you can't try to fit something into this law and try to put something in this law and try to make it make sense. It don't work that way. Okay, so you should not add or diminish. Okay, like this other person, you know, like I said, man, you know, I done talked about him more than I'm supposed to. But the nonsense that he spews out. Okay, talking about you supposed to take out the book of Leviticus. You supposed to take, I don't understand that. Okay, you ain't supposed to add or diminish from this law, not a word from it whatsoever. Okay, but I'm back here in Deuteronomy chapter 4 verse 3. Your eyes have seen that which Yah did because of Y.O.R. Okay, our forefathers seen what Yah did to them when they started going astray and they started whoring after Y.O.R. Okay, in the land of Moab that the Midianites introduced them to. Okay, and they see what Yah did to them, but did they did they take heed to that? No. Years later, they started worshiping Baal and that crap again. Israel is stiff-necked and stubborn, hard-headed. Don't want to listen to anyone. They don't even want to listen to their Creator. That's Israel for you. Remember what Yah told Ezekiel. I would have I could have taken you to a nation that don't even speak your language, and I would have put these words in your mouth. You'd have spoken to them, and they'd have listened to you. But you can't even go to your own people. They will not hear you. They won't hear me. There ain't no way they gonna hear you. That's what y'all told them. Our people are stiff-necked and stubborn, want to be like everybody else except for who they are. They want to be everybody else. They want to have a king like everybody else. To go out and fight their battles. Forgot everything that y'all did for them, okay? Even coming through the wilderness. How he took over, took over those 2 kings of the Amorites. Alright? When he gave them their land on the eastern side of the Jordan. And then how he took them into the land of Canaan and delivered those 31 kings into their hands. And it still wasn't enough for them. They still wanted a man to go out and fight their battles for them. How much sense does that make? Y'all delivered 31 kings into their hand, and they still wanted a man to rule over them. Now you tell me that ain't Israel. Alright, your eyes have seen what I've did because of Y.O.R. Okay, I'm in verse 4. Alright, matter of fact, let me read verse 3 again. Your eyes have seen what Yah did because of Y.O.R. Alright, for all the men that follow by Y.O.R. Yah have destroyed them from among you. They perished. Okay, like that whole generation did, except for Eleazar, Phineas, Yahushua, Caleb. And Phineas wasn't even over 40. He was the son of Eleazar, the priest, who eventually became high priest in his father's stead. Alright? But ye that did cleave unto Yah, your strength, are alive, every one of you this day. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as Yah my strength hath commanded me, that you shall do so in the land whither you go to possess it. Okay? This is for Israel. This is what we created to do. Therefore keep and do them, for this is your wisdom and understanding in the sight of the nations. This is why the nations will call us blessed. This is why those 10 men of each nation shall take a hold of a man, one that is an Israelite, saying, surely Yah is with you. Let us take you to Yah, for he's with you. Hold on just a second. I'm going to the book. I want to read it exactly how it says over in Zechariah. Okay, verse 23. Zechariah chapter 8, verse 23. Thus saith Yah of hosts, in those days it shall come to pass that 10 men, right? I was right. 10 men shall take hold out of all the languages of the nations, even shall take hold of the skirt of him that is an Israelite. Say that Jew mess, you can go ahead and lose me with that. Saying, we will go with you, for we have heard that Yah is with you. Why? Because when you keep the law, it's your wisdom and understanding in the sight of the nations. They call you blessed. Okay? It says, we shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. So why would you want to be anything other than that? Our people are so, their minds are so polluted. Okay? Especially the Israelite men, they think it's cool when they call you a gangster, a thug. You a gangbanger. You done killed these many people. That's what they love. They love when people call them that. They love when people say that about them. Instead of saying this is a wise and understanding people. Surely a great nation. Alright? A wise and understanding people. For what nation is there so great who have the strong one so near unto them? As Yah, our strength, is in all things that we call upon him for. Why would you want anything other than that? But that's Israel for you. Okay? And just blessed be Yah that He's pouring His Spirit upon the children of Israel, mainly His arm Jerusalem, because right now Jerusalem is the only descendants out of the children of Israel who have understanding at this point. Okay, because those that went over in the Benjamin movement, like it talks about in Yeshaya chapter 48, okay, in Ezekiel chapter 16, they don't have understanding. Our so-called Palestinians, most of the majority of them, they don't have understanding. You might have some that do. They starting to wake. Okay, I just don't know it, but what's written in this book, we know they are awakened. Some of them are awakened. And when Yah righteousness returns, some of them, the majority of them won't, but some of them will come over to the way of Yah. Okay? But we are a nation that Yah is near unto us. Alright? Okay, it says, verse 8. And what nation is there so great that have statutes and judgments so righteous as all this law? Let me read that again. For all you think that the law, keeping the law is vain. Okay? It says, what nation is there so great that have statutes and judgments so righteous as all this law which I have set before you this day? Because the law brings peace, the law brings righteousness, the law brings out the truth. Okay, you cannot go wrong. Like I said, whenever if you find yourself at the crossroads, alright, just go to Deuteronomy chapter 6, read verses 5, 6, 7, and 8. That's what you do. Simple as that. Alright? Only take heed to yourself. Alright? And keep your soul diligently, lest you forget the things, alright, which your eyes have seen. This is our forefathers, right? Which your eyes have seen. Alright? And lest they depart from your heart all the days of your life. But teach them your sons and your sons' sons. Okay? So I came there, okay? Because this law is our wisdom and understanding in the sight of the nations, that they may call us a blessed nation. A nation so great that has laws and statutes and commandments that are so righteous. It's all about this law. This law, keeping this law, statutes, and commandments is how you return to the land. This is the roadmap. And then once you take heed to this law, you obey these laws, statutes, commandments with all your heart, and with all your soul. You read, study, pray, and do. Then Yah starts to illuminate you to the prophecies, and He will allow you to see the prophecies clear. But it starts with the law. Okay, that's the new covenant. Jeremiah chapter 31. Everybody has to read this time. It ain't like the days of old when people sought the law at the mouth of the priest. No, everybody has the book of the law today. Alright? Alright, so I'm going to take you back over, alright, to Deuteronomy chapter 6. I'm going to finish it up here. Alright? Alright, and let's just start back up at verse 5. It says, and you shall love Yah your strength with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your might. And in these words which I command you this day shall be in your heart, and you shall teach them diligently unto your children, and shall talk of them when you sit down in your house, and when you walkest by the way, and when you liest down, and when you rise up. You can't go wrong by doing that whatsoever. You cannot go wrong by doing what it just says right here in verse 7. You sit, when you sit down in your house, when you walk by the way, when you lie down, when you rise up, when you talking about these laws, and you got these laws between the fountains of your eyes, okay, and you bind them, all right, upon your hand, which means all the work of your hands. Everything you do got to be according to this law. Everything you think got to be according to this law. There's no way you can go wrong. There's no way you can go wrong. And you shall write them upon the posts of your house and on your gates. And it shall be when Yah your strength shall have brought you into the land which he swore unto your fathers. Now I'm in Deuteronomy chapter 6. Okay. I'm not sure I was going. I'm not sure if I told you where I'm at. I'm in Deuteronomy chapter 6. And I'm reading verse 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay. And I'm going to read verse 8 again. Okay. And I'm going to go down to verse 9 and verse 10 and so forth. It says, and you shall bind them for a sign upon your hand, and they shall be as fountains between your eyes. Keep your mind stayed on the law. Alright, and it shall be when Yah your strength shall have brought you into the land which he sware unto your fathers, to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, to give you great and goodly cities which you build not, and houses full of all good things which you filled not, and wells digged which you dig not, vineyards and olive trees which you planted not. When you shall have eaten and be full, then beware lest you forget Yah which brought you forth out of the land of Egypt from the house of bondage. And this is why we give thanks to Yah after we have received our blessings and not before. Unless you forget who gave you the blessings. Okay, what sense does that make to give thanks to something before you get it? You give thanks after you get it, after you received it. That way you never forget how you acquired these blessings. That it was Yah of hosts that gave them to you. Okay? And you hold that spot. We're going to read that in this book. Go to Deuteronomy chapter 8. I like to read everything out this book. That's why all the going back and forth, the bickering and, you know, the debating, I let the book speak for itself. Okay? And it says, I'm in Deuteronomy chapter 8. Okay? Deuteronomy chapter 8 verse 10. Alright? Actually, let me start at verse 7. Verse 6, excuse me. Therefore you shall keep the commandments of Yah your strength, to walk in his ways and to fear him. Remember, the fear of Yah is the beginning of all wisdom. Okay? For Yah your strength brings you into a good land, a land of brooks of water, alright, of fountains and depths that spring out of valleys and hills. See, these are things that we can't even comprehend. Alright? We can't even comprehend. We've never seen nothing like this yet. Okay? We haven't witnessed these things. So when it says a land that flows with milk and honey, okay, our minds can't even comprehend that we downgrade that to thinking about honeybees and it gotta come from a bee. Nah, that land produces more than enough honey for us to have. An overwhelming amount of honey for us to have. And like I said again, honey has more than one definition for all you contraries out there. Okay, it has more than one definition. It also means a syrup that comes from fruits, dates, or trees. Okay, more than one definition. Okay, but we never witnessed this. Okay, so we can't comprehend it. A land of wheat, I'm in verse 8. Alright, in Deuteronomy chapter 8, verse 8. A land of wheat and barley and vines and fig trees and pomegranates, a land of olive oil or oil olive and sweetness, or syrupy substances, honey. Okay, because this is where it comes from. It comes from, all right, the fir trees, the pomegranates, and things like that. That's where it comes from. All right, it comes from the land. Like when you go over, we just read over there in 1 Samuel chapter, what was that, 14, verse 25. When they were, Saul and his people were walking through the woods, there was so much honey on that ground coming from the trees, the sap just dripping from the tree. That's too much, sir. That's too much, honey, okay, for a bee to produce. It can't produce that much. Those syrupy sweeteners, that syrupy substance, that sweetness comes from the trees in the thicket. Okay. It says, I'm gonna read verse 9 again. All right, or I'm gonna go and read verse 9 and just finished off in verse 8 in Deuteronomy chapter 8. A land wherein you shall eat bread without scarceness. All right, you shall not lack anything in it. All right, it's impossible, okay, to go hungry in the land that Yah provides for us. That land is constantly producing fruit. It's constantly producing food. Constantly. Okay? A land whose stones are iron, and out of whose hills you may dig brass. Wow. Alright, when you have, this is what